I said, I never ever wanted to reply any of the allegations put to me or raised against me. God used us in a very long way to discover him, and we worked so hard. We worked so hard for that reputation to be built. But when something that is very unfortunate happens, something that is almost like near unto death, then you have to take your look, you have to take your walk, you have to walk away. Yorubas will say, Ogun omo kò ní ṣeré fógun ọdún. So I was thinking in my mind that, ṣé ọba tipsy wà tipsy nígbà tó ń sọ kíní yẹn? Or is it the usual spiritual influence that the prophet has used on him to come out to reduce his esteem to the extent that he can bring out such a very ambiguous lie? I mean, kábíyèsí, ọba ní lóòótọ́ àti lódodo, ọba ìlú, odidi ìlú tó ní lárí bíi Ṣómólú Bàrígà. Báwo ló ṣe máa rí lára àwọn ọmọ Ṣómólú Bàrígà ní diaspora tó ń wo odidi kábíyèsí wọn tó parọ́? Tẹ́ bá sọ yìí pé wọ́n mú mi, wọ́n lé mi jáde nínú event, níbo ni fídíò yẹn wà? In fact, when we met him in a very sorry state. We met him in a very low downgraded state. We met him in a very, in a backward state. We met him in a state whereby he needed help, whereby he needed to be upgraded, whereby he needed to be celebrated in our own way. And knowing me for who I am, I'm not a monetized person. I don't monetize kindness, and I don't monetize goodwill. I do what I need to do. I promote who I need to promote. I leave it to your conscience. If you say thank you, good enough. If you don't say thank you, bad enough for you. I told God at the beginning of this backlash, when he started coming out to talk about me, to sponsor people to lie against me, and to say things that I never believed could be said. He said something like, oh, Asabe is the horse that you, Prophet Marcus, rode to the palace, that then when you rode the horse to the palace, you now tied down the horse, and one day the horse lose itself, and the horse now went into the market, kani Ọlọ́run á wò yín sàn, mo mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn nǹkan mìíràn ń sọ lẹ́yìn mẹ́ta ibi kí wọ́n máa kà, Olúwa fúnra rẹ̀ ló ti ọwọ́ bọ ọpọlọ yín. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what happened. Bí ṣe kọ́ lẹ ṣe sọ, bí Olúwa ṣe kọ́kọ́ nìyẹn. Èmi ò sì ń ṣe ẹṣin tó ń dè mọ́lẹ̀, but tó wáyé pé ẹ̀tẹ̀ ti dè mí mọ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀, Olúwa ti tú mi sílẹ̀. Àwọn tá a tún dè mọ́lẹ̀ lÓlúwa tún máa tú sílẹ̀ láìpẹ́ lágbára àṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Tó wáyé pé dè ìmọ̀ wa mọ́lẹ̀ tẹ́ lò wá fún ọdún bí mẹ́wàá tá a fi wà lọ́dọ̀ yín, because ní àárín ọdún mẹ́wàá yẹn náà kò sí nǹkan kan tí ẹ fún wa. Láàrin ọdún mẹ́wàá yẹn kì í ṣe pé ẹ sọ pé gba ilé ọ̀ gba ilẹ̀ ọ̀ gba mọ́tò. Even gan láàrin ọdún mẹ́wàá tá a fi wà pẹ̀lú yín, sọ́rí ní December pé ẹ jẹ́ káwọn Àṣàbí gbé àpò ráìsì ẹ̀kọ́ lọ pin. Kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí, kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí, kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí, kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí, kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí. What do you mean? He said, èmi ò mọ̀ pé àṣẹ gbogbo kí ní tẹ̀ ń ṣe free lẹ́ ń ṣe. Pé bàbá ló jẹ́ kí n mọ̀, bàbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi yín bú mi. Pé tí bá ti fẹ́ gbowó mi, bàbá máa delay mi, wọ́n fún mi 20,000 check mi, kàn fún mi lówó mi, á dẹ̀ di pé kí n lọ kí n sùn ìjọ́ kejì. Pé bàbá tó ìgbà tó yẹ wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bú mi, Àṣàbí òun gbowó, ìwọ náà nìkan ló ń gbowó, ìwọ nìkan owó, Àṣàbí nìyẹn kò ń gbà kọ́bọ̀, kò ń ṣe kíní kan. And I was like, yes, that is me. Well, gentlemen, gentlewomen, people around the world and lovers of Asabi Africa TV, it's another very lovely day. Today, Tuesday, Boxing Day, December 26th, year 2023. This is Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa. We want to thank God for a day like this. We want to appreciate God for His mercy right from the beginning of the year down to this time in December. It has been a year of very interesting episodes in our life. It has also been the year of God's gracefulness, God's grace, right from January down to April to May to June, down to half year, June, July, August, September, October, November, and now we're in December, just 4-5 days into the new year. And this is exactly 5 p.m. in the evening that we are carrying out this broadcast, and it's a very, very important broadcast. It's a broadcast that has to do with reply and response to issues that went on for so long in year 2023, and it has to do with the issue between Asabi Africa TV, my humble self, and the famous prophet that we discovered. We discovered him sometimes in year 2012, and I'm talking about Prophet Marcus Korodile Tibetan. Famously called MKO Tibetan. We want to thank God for his life and our own life. We want to thank God for how far we've gone. And honestly speaking, what I'm doing right now is not something that I prepared to do. I really wanted to keep my peace and just walk away and watch as event unfolds. But when it became essentially necessary, when it became so important that we talk, that we put word to space so that people will be educated. A lot of things happened in year 2023. It started actually in June 2022. But before them, there are other events that happened, other events that took place that shaped our relationship, and some that questioned relationship between myself and the prophet. And for God so good, He loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son for us to die and to serve as a kind of a communion, or serve as a sacrifice for our sin. And yesterday was the birth and the celebration of Jesus Christ. Today is Boxing Day. Boxing Day in Nigeria, Boxing Day in Africa, Boxing Day around the world. And issues that are very germane, we have to box them once and for all. And that is why we came out today. I'm not coming out because it is necessary, but because it is essential. Like I said, I never ever wanted to reply any of the allegations put to me or raised against me by either Prophet M.K. Tibetan or any of his fans or his lovers around the world. I always believe that God used us in a very long way to discover Him, and we work so hard. We work so hard for that reputation to be built. But when something that is very unfortunate happens, something that is almost like near unto death, then you have to take your look, you have to take your walk, you have to walk away. Yorubas will say, Ogun omo kò ní ṣeré fógun ọdún. I wanted to keep quiet when all the shenanigans started, when the prophet went online to start raising doubts about my separation or my walk away from his domain or from his life. And for a long time I've been an enthusiast of the signs of narcissists. You know, I used to joke with friends that I have watched 3 movies in my life that have taught me about people, about the signs of character of people, the signs of relationship. To start with, I studied history. And when you study history, one of the very good benefits of history is that you are taught about the signs of characters themselves in history. You know about the signs of politics and socialism and all the rest. History teaches you about what I call behavioral sciences. And in history, what I enjoy most, I enjoy the personalities, especially when it comes to the rise and the fall of empires, and when it comes to the rise and fall of great men. I look at the correlation between their humble background and the hate at which they get and they start misbehaving, and when they start dropping until they drop down like a very big aeroplane dropping into a large ocean, you know. So history allows me all these benefits, and I thank God that as a historian we're always in the busy of documenting events. So like I said, I've watched 3 movies that have really helped me in my life. The first is The Rise and Fall of Idi Amin. When you watch The Rise and Fall of Idi Amin, I watch it severally, you will learn very well about how to deal with narcissists at their peak and at the lowest rung, the peak of their character and the lowest ebb of their, or the lowest altitude of their misdemeanor. That is one thing about that movie. Fantastic, well scripted, even if it is a bit non-fictional. Then I've also watched 2 other movies. One of them is The Last Dawn, based on the storyline by Mario Puzo. If you watch that movie, I've watched it almost 24 times, and I used to watch it in those days when I was young and I was still practicing early in my life at Fame magazine. I used to have a friend in those days, Chief Abel Edichala, and in his house somewhere in Canaview Estate, in Apapa there, we used to watch that film into the night, and I used to go holiday in his house, and at that time I wanted to be governor of Delta State, and a lot of scientific aspect of the film in terms of character, in terms of business, in terms of how to guide yourself, guide what is in within you. I learned from that movie. And the third one is Coming to America, which is one of the most fantastic, one of the most illustrious modern time movie that have won several accolades in terms of mastery, in terms of artistic presentation, and in terms of what can I call it, characterization. When you watch that movie, it teaches you how to keep very low in terms of surplus, how to be a very humble person, even when God has blessed you. That is the essentials of the life of the son of the king of Bamunda Empire, Hakim, who left his father's surplus lifestyle, who left his father's wealth to come and suffer in a very downtown neighborhood in America, and who even went up to serving in a restaurant and eventually married the daughter of the baron of that restaurant. And it was the peak of the movie. When I watch that movie, I shed tears. So all these movies have helped me to really live my life, and it teaches me about people, about the changing character of people. But let's go back to Prophet M.K.O. Tibetan. How did we meet Prophet Tibetan? And why am I answering him right now? And today, Boxing Day, December 26th, year 2023, why am I asking, replying? I have told you I didn't want to reply, honestly. I never ever wanted to reply, because you see, I enjoy the drama when somebody come on air to abuse me, and I also enjoy the fact that God decided to make me his vessel to unearth some hidden aspects of the life of such a man. a lot of people are asking me questions. I've seen a lot of you on YouTube that abuse me. Some wrote so nasty things about me. Some lay curses. Some said a whole lot of dirty things. But those things, to God who made me, never moved me, because history is filled with people who fought for good causes, but people never understood them until it dawned on them at the end of the course of action that what they were really fighting for were things that are of noble color. When you're fighting for something that is going to benefit humanity, at times people don't understand. People just think that, oh, you are doing it for your pocket. So I didn't want to answer the prophet. I just want him to talk, and especially in my own part of this climb, the Yoruba land, people feel that when a young person and an aged person you're fighting, they always want to abuse respect, or even if the elderly person is wrong, they want to just lash over it and let it go, which at times I feel like, okay, let's just let it go. But you see, with time, eventualities will justify the purpose of action. With time, eventualities will justify the purpose of action. How did we meet Prophet Tibetan? And before I tell you how I met him, I decided to answer when a certain Kabiyesi came out recently in one of the videos on is it 12 Star, one of the emergency online TV stations that Prophet Tibetan established in November last year, when we decided to stop and sack him and walked away from him. The Kabiyesi, I think, is Oba of Shomolu Bariga. It's called Jagbolu. Oba, I think Bola Hotimsin. With due respect, I've met this Kabiyesi severally at Prophet Tibetan's church. I think between year 2020, 2021, up to 2022, when we decided to take our leave. And I have so much respect for the Yoruba traditional courts, Yoruba traditional institution. I have so much regard, But when you see a whole Kabiyesi, Oba Timsin, Jagumolu, the third or something like that, the whole Oba come out on YouTube, on social media, to come and tell a very big, ambiguous lie against my person, you keep wondering, because you so much regard him. The Kabiyesi is so elderly, and with due respect, he appears to be advanced in age, advanced in orientation. So he came out and he said, that he met me at a party, and I was officiating as an MC at the party. To start with, I'm not a master of ceremony. I have not done that in recent times. Maybe in the recent 5 years, I have not done that. I have not stood anywhere to take a microphone and act as an MC. And he said when they gave me the microphone that I was conducting the event, and somebody came and snatched it away from me and said, no, you cannot conduct this event. You are a Odale, a betrayer. That you betrayed your boss. You went to say a lot of things about him. No, you can't conduct this event. Let another person come out, and they elected another person to conduct the event. And that I even went to the extent of bringing bouncer to come and challenge the lady that took me out of the event. And in the course of trying to do that, the bouncer was subdued, and that I was sent out of the event, and that I went into my car and I just slept off in the car, and that people were begging, okay, now, you see, when you say Oba Timsin, you will now be asking yourself, God forgive me, God forgive me, God forgive me. Is Oba Timsin tipsy? Ask yourself. Say Oba Timsin, someone tipsy, meaning that Ọlọ́run dáríjì mi, ṣé wọ́n mu bóyá wọ́n fún wọn ní nǹkan kan mú ńgbà tí wọ́n sọ nǹkan yẹn. Maybe you know when you go to Prophet Tibetan, he has all these little drug on his table, ogogoro here, schnapps there, and some other drugs that can make you tipsy. So I was thinking in my mind that ṣé ọba tipsy wà tipsy nígbà tó ń sọ kíní yẹn, or is it the usual spiritual influence that the prophet has used on him to come out to reduce his esteem to the extent that he can bring out such a very ambiguous lie? I mean, kábíyèsí ọba ní lóòótọ́ àti lódodo, ọba ìlú, odidi ìlú tó níláárí bíi Ṣómólú Bàrígà. Báwo ló ṣe máa rí lára àwọn ọmọ Ṣómólú Bàrígà ní diaspora tó ń wo dídí kábíyèsí wọn tó parọ́? Tẹ́ bá sọ yí pé wọ́n mú mi, wọ́n lé mi jáde nínú event, níbo ni fídíò yẹn wà? Because irú event bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹni obìnrin tó lé mi jáde yẹn bó ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú governor, ó wá mí pé tóbìnrin yẹn bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú governor, that event should be an elitist event. Then there must be either video evidence through telephone or through camera or through some other devices to show that Asabi ló ń lé kúrò ní event yìí, ó ló ń disgrace torí pé ó dalẹ̀ ọ̀gá ẹ̀. And a lot of people were telling me, oh, write your lawyer, let them write the kábíyèsí for doing all those kind of things to you. Oh, you have to sue him and all that. You know, there is one good thing about me. I enjoy allowing God to discipline people. Yes, of course. If we say our lawyer should write you kábíyèsí, you cannot provide that video. You can't provide the evidence. And for God knows the truth. It never happened. It was an imagination. It was a figment of your imagination, sir. With total honor, it was a figment of your imagination. I repeat, it was a figment of your imagination. Maybe Prophet Tibetan gave you some hot drink to drink. Maybe, you know, he used to give all this medicine on rheumatism, or pain, you know, and all that. And sometimes when he gives you those kind of drinks, you can just be, even we can give you a small portion of moi moi and you are out of your senses and all that. With total honor, maybe that will happen and he told you to tell that kind of a thing. You can watch it in this video.
Ó wá pé ọ̀gbẹ́ni ẹ̀ lágbájá Àṣàbí, ìwọ ọ̀dàlẹ̀ nìyí, ìwọ tó bá tẹni tó súnmọ́ ẹ jẹ́ lórí ẹ̀rọ amóhùnmáwòrán, ìwọ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ èèyàn báyìí báyìí láburú. Ó gbàgbé àtijọ́ ṣe nípa ìjọ ṣe yín papọ̀ àìmọye ọdún sẹ́yìn. Ṣé ìṣèjọ́ kanjọ́ méjì wá ti jẹ àǹfààní lára ẹ̀ dáadáa. Wọ́n á ṣàlàyé fún yíyan ṣírò lálàyé tó lè ṣe ó di ọ̀dàlẹ̀ olọ́gọ́ta ìṣe. Kò sí ìyàn tó lè sọ tó lè wà wá ní etí wọn. Níbi tóun dẹ̀ wá yìí, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ló ń ṣe ìyàwó fọ́mọ, mi ní jẹ́ kó ṣe MC tó ní wọ́n pè é fún níbí tó ní ṣe. Eré ló pé àwàdà ni wọ́n yọ lẹ́mc, wọ́n wá MC ní ìlẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Wá gba microphone ìwọ ni kó máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Ó bínú, ó ṣe, ó lọ pé bouncer, ó rò pé ẹni tí wọ́n yẹ̀yẹ́ ni arábìnrin yẹn. Nígbà tí bouncer débẹ̀ ló ní ẹlẹ́mà ní ìwọ̀n gbẹ̀yìn ni wọ́n ní kíní kan ṣẹlẹ̀ bí kí wọ́n gbọ́. Màmá wà níyì tó di pé lára ọmọ yẹn wà, obìnrin yẹn wà tó jẹ́ pé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ Èkó ló ń bá ṣiṣẹ́. Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ìlẹ́ni tó lọ pè wáyìí tó máa ń cover tí yẹn bá ń ṣe ní occasion. Yẹn wà ní àdá fún ẹ bó ṣe mú ẹ wá wọ́ṣámọ̀ mi. Irú èèyàn yìí kì í ṣe ẹni tó yẹ kẹ́ bá rìn. Ìwà báyìí báyìí ló kù sí ẹni tí wọ́n jọ ń ṣe tán jọ ń bọ̀ láìmọye ọdún sẹ́yìn. Ṣé èèyàn nìyẹn lórí kíni, lórí ẹni tá a fẹ́ jẹ láyé yìí tó máa tán? Èmi tí ní kò ní ṣe MC bí o lágbọ́rọ̀ Ọlọ́run kò dẹ̀ ní ṣe. Ẹni tó máa ṣe MC wa ló gba microphone ló ń ṣe yẹn. Kíní náà wọ lára débi pé ó padà lọ jókòó sínú mọ́tò ẹ̀ ó sùn lọ sílé ìlú wọ pátí mọ́. Now bouncer yìí ló jẹ́ pé wọ́n pé ó lọ jókòó sínú mọ́tò ní ó ti fẹ́ máa lọ pàápàá wá láti kó mú sùúrù kó lọ jókòó kó láì sí lọ bóyá nǹkan yí padà nǹkan yí padà o. Bí Ọlọ́run ṣe ní káwọn yẹn rí láàrin ra wọn bá ara wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pé ẹ má gbọ̀dálẹ̀ láyé àbá nǹkan tẹ̀ ń ṣe jẹ́ o. Bó ti bá yín ṣe lé náà tó lọ sọ̀rọ̀ yín láì dá lọ́la ni. Bí èèyàn báyìí kéèyàn jìnnà sí wọn ló dáa wọ́n dẹ̀ gbà sí àwọn lẹ́nu.
So you saw what happened? You will imagine, you will just not believe it, that a high pedigreed person like Oba Jagomolu III, Oba Gbolahan Timson of Shomolu Bariga can come down so low to fabricate such a humongous lie on my person and say they sent me out and that it was a sad day, that even his wife now say, oh, ṣé kí n ṣe àṣàbí tó ń bá wọn moderate lórí social media yẹn náà rí ọ̀dàlẹ̀ ni.
Tí èèyàn ò bá ní Ọlọ́run ẹni táwọn yìí ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ìbínú Ọlọ́run díẹ̀ nìyẹn o. Tí èèyàn ò bá mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run ń jà fún èèyàn lóòótọ́ àwọn nǹkan ilé èèyàn máa fi mọ̀. Ẹni táwọn sọ yóò mọ̀ ìyàwó mi tí mò ń sọ kò rí sójú rí ìyàwó mi náà mí tí ẹ̀wọ̀n pàdé rí àfi kó wò lórí tẹlifíṣàn báyìí kábà lóhùn ló ránṣẹ́ kì í ṣe ọ̀gbẹ́ni tó ń pèrè lásàbí tó ń bá wọn ṣe program moderation lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ni òun náà ni kí ló sọ di irú tó dà yìí báyìí ṣe bí nìyẹn o àti òun náà ti form mind ó ti form opinion nípa ìpé èèyàn kéèyàn lélẹ̀ iṣẹ́ tó ń dúró tì rárá wọn gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ èèyàn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ first opportunity tó lè máa rí live tó máa rí tó máa fi dámọ̀ nìyẹn pé ìwọ kọ́ làwọn ò ní èèyàn burúkú nìyẹn o ọ̀dàlẹ̀ èèyàn ní iṣẹ́ tó ń súnmọ́.
Now, I'm sure if we write you, you cannot produce the video, and I'm sure in your quiet moment, in your deepest moment, when you sleep in your bedroom, when you bath in your bathroom, even when you meditate in your corner rest, you will know that that is a very huge lie, promoted, influenced by your friend, Prophet G.D.A Tibetan. And that is the basis of why I said I will reply. Because I didn't know if a Hoka basic can be ridiculed and be used to influence a bad rumor, to say something negative on me, then anybody can be a victim. Maybe tomorrow they are going to give maybe a diplomat, they are going to give the wine again or the to come and lie, shepherd. They are going to give the person shepherd, or they are going to even bring a woman tomorrow to come and say, oh, the child she has, Nami, impregnate her, or that she has a child for me in hidden or in secrecy, or they can even bring somebody from nowhere and fabricate another huge lie. I don't know how big their lie industry is or how big their moral degrading bakery is, but I need to just come out and put something straight, and that is why I am here today. The first thing is that everybody is saying, oh dale your guy, oh dale your guy. Well, number one, Prophet Tibetan was never my boss. Marcus Korodile Oluwatosin Tibetan, the prophet and the leader of Celestial Church of Christ, Elisha Pai, was never my boss for one day. That is lie number one, and it needs to be busted. How did I meet him in year 2012? In year 2012, my very good brother, Lanre Ijakoko of Ben TV, was the one that introduced me to Prophet G.D.A Tibetan. Mr. Ijakoko, Lanre, came in from London when I was working at Hallmark newspaper as a society correspondent, and as at that time we were trying to create a program on a TV program called Home and Away. I have the synopsis with me till today because he wanted to replicate what he was doing in London, in Nigeria. He was doing a lot for Ben TV. And by the special grace of God, to the glory of God, I took him around Nigeria. Anywhere Lanre Ijala is today, he will be able to bail me with the sincerity of truth. And he will be able to say it, he won't lie, because I know him to be a very fair person in terms of judgment. I took him around the country. I took him to Her Excellency, Mrs. Mariam Abacha, when we had the 10th anniversary of General Sani Abacha. I made sure Her Excellency, the former First Lady, flew in from Kano to Abuja, and I took Lanre Ijala there to interview her in her Abuja home, somewhere in Asokoro, that is next to Mandela Street. And I remember that Mrs. Abacha, after we interviewed her, in fact, they hosted us, they gave us a lodge at the Games Village, courtesy of my influence, because of the high regard they have for me, the family, through every other person that knows me. And it's not about money, I don't collect a dime. Even Lanre Ijala can testify. Then I remember after the interview, I told Mrs. Abacha, I intervened, we were talking about General Buhari, and I told her we want to interview the general. And she took her phone there and then, and she called the general, and the meeting was fixed for the next day in Kaduna, the GRA in Kaduna. We were also hosted somewhere on Sultan Road in Kaduna for 2 days before we met General Buhari, myself and Lanre Ijala. That is one episode. I also took him round. I took him to my friend, Mr. Tokunbo Modupe of TPT, a PR guru in Nigeria. I took him to a lot of other people that I might not be able to mention their name here. He interviewed them until 2012, when I don't know what brought him with Prophet Tibetan together, and he told me that I should handle Prophet Tibetan's image. As at that time, there were a lot of things on my table. I was planning to go into blogging. I was also writing a book I was planning to write a book on a celebrity broadcaster in Nigeria, who I'm very familiar with, and some of you are familiar with. Fantastic elder brother who has paid his dues, a TV, radio broadcasting, a pioneer with his twin partner, you know, and a whole lot of things. But because Lanre Ijala is a very good friend and his wife is close to me, in fact, my first car, I bought it from her in December 2009. The documents are with me. That is Lanre Ijala's ex-wife, because they married around 2008, and I think the marriage lasted for like 3 years before things went apart. Okay, now, so I met Prophet Tibetan, and this is me, a young journalist, coming into his life because he said something which I'm also going to denounce here. He said, you know, in January 21 of this year, one Benjamin Adekunle, that is now both his shepherd and his blogger, came out and said, I came with a problem, that I brought a big problem, and that when Prophet Tibetan saw me, he was so full of pity, and he decided to solve the problem for me. And after he solved the problem, I started bringing a lot of other people to him.
Ṣé wá gbọ́? Ẹ wá wo àṣà bí Áfíríkà, ọmọ dáadáa ni o, èèyàn dáadáa ni o. Ọlọ́run má jàrí ìṣòro ká má rí dààmú. Ìṣòro kan ló gbé dọ́dọ̀ Prophet Marcus. Ó ṣàlàyé ara rẹ̀ pé journalist lòun. Wọ́n sì ṣe tán pé àwọn ò bá tán ṣòro náà. Ọlọ́run sì lò wọ́n fún ṣòro náà, wọ́n sì bá tán ṣòro náà. Òun náà wá fa àwọn èèyàn wá. Ó ní èmi ti rí gbàlà ń bì kan yìí náà máa bọ̀. Ó mú àwọn èèyàn wá. Tí è bá ṣe wípé ká má máa dáko ni, mo sì lè dáko èèyàn bíi mẹ́ta àtàwọn lọ́ọ̀yà tó jẹ́ lọ́ọ̀yà gbòógì tó mú sọ́dọ̀ Prophet Marcus. Nítorí pé ó ti dán bẹ́ẹ̀ wò ó sì rí pé ayọ̀ ni òun náà ní kó ń fi àwọn èèyàn. Kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀? Ẹni tó pọ́n ọ lẹ́yìn, ẹni tó gbé ọ dìde, ẹni tó jẹ́ káyé mọ̀ ọ́ ká nípa prophecy tí wọ́n ń sọ tọ́lọ́run sì ń jẹ́ kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ. Òun ló wá kù tó wá fẹ́ fi ta yín.
The good story is this. There was nothing like any problem. It is lie number 2 we need to debunk. Then, Prophet Tibetan, in a recent video, decided to stretch the lie. He stretched the lie forward. He said, oh, when I came to him, I told him I was being owed by city people, backlog of salary, that he now told me, oh, I should not worry, you can do this, you can do that, that he gave me a lot of, what they call it, intro, a lot of ideas and whatever.
One day I said, Asabe, there is you can set up a magazine. You can say, I give him a lot of intro to what can make him be great in life, to be relevant, to forget Sheyekende, and Sheyekende use his own initiative to set up city magazine, city people. So you use your brain too. You've learned enough.
To start with, Prophet Tibetan does not have any idea to give. His job is basically to shepherd. I was not working with city people. I never worked with Mr. Sheyekende. In fact, Mr. Sheyekende is one of the most humble, unique man. There are a lot of things good about him. And if there's any other thing that is not fantastic about him, maybe they are just my notes. Hey, everybody has his own good side and bad side. At no time did I work with Mr. Sheyekende as a reporter or as a paid employed staff. I was a contributing editor of City People between year 2010 when I left Business Hallmark and when I met Tibetan. What happened? I was a freelancer. I bring stories, and I did same with the Ovation magazine too. I did same with the Ovation. I was a freelancer. When I came to Sheyekende, there was nothing like, oh, I was working with Sheyekende. When I came to Tibetan, when I came to Prophet Marcus in year 2020, when I met him, in fact, when we met him in a very sorry state.
And all the times are just winding up. Can Olola use the bricklayer work to send Moji out for law and send Tokwe for what? For pharmacy? It's a lie. He will steal, he will borrow, he will do a lot of things. Because there is no supporting field, that I said the other time. No what? No supporting field. Then he will now use his 5 senses. That is lie. When they say somebody want to use his 5 senses, they want to lie. So, you know, failure has no what? Has no disciple. Success has what? Has followership. Our father did not succeed. We were thinking he succeeded, we did not succeed. And that's what the man said in the book Things All Apart. He said, oh, what my father like, I will hate. But at the end of the day, he died even below than his father's level. He said, Okonkwo is one of the greatest men in Omofia. You've drove him to go and hang himself. Now he's going to be buried like a dog. Kindly beg one of your countrymen to bring his body where he hung himself. Because the body is what is taboo to the freeborn Igbos. He died more disgraceful than his father. So that is it. This is the garden. That is the mango. That is the guava. Name the whole thing yourself so that you don't make mistake to be a good leader. But when laziness sets in, you know we have 10 different categories of laziness. Laziness of the eye, laziness of the brain, laziness of the hand, laziness of the heart, laziness of the leg, laziness in what that friends put on you. He said your friend will tell you the rain wants to fall. But if you do not have anything in the house, you have to walk out and look for something. Then you will tell your friend, I'm not salt. Then laziness of the stomach. And the laziness in thinking. If you are not thinking right, you are lazy.
We met him in a very low downgraded state. We met him in a very, in a backward state. We met him in a state whereby he needed help, whereby he needed to be upgraded, whereby he needed to be celebrated in our own way. And knowing me for who I am, I'm not a monetized person. I don't monetize kindness, and I don't monetize goodwill. I do what I need to do. I promote who I need to promote. I leave you to your conscience. If you say thank you, good enough. If you don't say thank you, bad enough for you. When we met Prophet Tibetan, we met him in a very back, slummy environment. Some of the videos I'm showing you now.
When you look at what we are doing now, you said something. When there is rain, people brought out their basins and plastic and drums to collect water. Then when there is no rain, what do they collect? Nothing. So I was given according to the book of Deuteronomy 18:18, he said, I'm going to raise a prophet. I'm not Maforikon who spitted in the mouth of his son. In UK said it's transferring power. No, a prophet is born, but not. We have a lot of mediocrity in this church who has planted voodoo in their churches. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in this. If I'm going with my power. And I don't know what the Lord is going to send me. Send me an errand. And a prophet will be here. A shepherd will be here. He said, no, there's one left. And where is he? He's always said, he's a workaholic person. He's on the field. Then the man said, okay, we will not sit down until he comes. You see. The man was not there, but the honor has been bestowed on him. Then when he came, they used the horn to put the oil. Other people, they use cup. How many shepherd today has the anointing? None of them. They just pick the job. No job outside.
Tí ìyàwó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ ẹ̀mí ẹ̀yìn gan náà ní lọ sí agbára lọ ìjọ ni tó mọ́ yín lórí o nífẹ̀ẹ́ ní ìjọṣe o àwọn ìjọ pápá wọn ní kọ́ yín lẹ́sẹ̀ o wọn dẹ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ mi ṣe gbogbo ogun tẹ̀ ń ré kúrò lórí orí kankan wa kò ní ré sórí yín kò ní ré sórí fámìlì yín kò ní ré sórí ìjọ kò ní ré sáwọn tó ń bá yín ṣiṣẹ́ o àwa pẹ̀lú à sì mọ ore pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Èdùmàrè inú gbogbo wa dùn ọkàn wa balẹ̀.
From the onset. In the prediction 2015,
Yes, sir.
they said Buhari must not pick vice president from Ogun State.
Yes, sir. I remember you said so. But
Then if he should pick a vice president from Ogun State, that means we are going to have trouble. And eventually he ran into it. That's number one. Then number two, the most notorious human being in the history of Nigeria, in person of Saraki.
So we met him in a very horrible, in a very back street way. And I remember what Landry Jala told me. He said, oh, that you have the lever to take on. I know you can handle this man. Handle him. He needs to be noticed. He needs to be celebrated. And I said, no problem. I will do what I can do. And when I met him, I took notice of the fact that he's somebody that is not someone that is free with spending. To be honest with you, I didn't ask him for money from day one. I didn't ask him for kobo. I knew I needed to help him because from day one I believe that if you have a truth, if you're a truth sayer or you're a truth speaker, we don't need to monetize the truth that you want to say that is going to heal the world. If you say you're a shepherd or you are someone that we put in the role of an ombudsman, or you are somebody we put in the role of using truth to heal society, we don't need to monetize that kind of gratitude or that kind of, what can I call it, that kind of gesture. I don't monetize gesture. Now, when I met Prophet Tibetan, we met him, the church was in a very low state. We were talking to him inside a bush in that church there. There was a huge bush near the small cathedral. There was another dilapidated cathedral that was condemned to children play house and all that. Then the bush there were a lot of trees, it was bushy, everything was just ordinary and all that. And we started talking to him. And the good thing about him is the fact that he was courageous enough to say a lot of good things or to highlight some of the bad things that is happening both in the society and in the church environment. And that is the joy of a journalist. I mean, you want news, you want something that has never been said before, you want something that is not something that has never been heard before. Nǹkan táwọn èèyàn ò gbọ́ tán ní ìdá ti gbọ́, nǹkan táwọn èèyàn tí ẹnìkan ò sọ rí táyé ní ìdá ti gbọ́, òtítọ́ tó ń wọ inú ibi tí ó yẹ kó wọ̀ láti fọ irọ́ jáde, àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ gbàǹgbà, àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ gbàǹkan. To God be the glory. Tibetan has that. He was courageous enough, and we were so happy that we met an ombudsman. As at that time when I met him, I had everything I need to have. It was not based on payment of salary or anything. In fact, the first thing I was doing for Prophet Tibetan was bringing journalists every year to review his book, to publish his book. And I remember, I still have friends. I have friends that knows this truth today. In those days, I bring friends from Encomium magazine, from the Sun newspaper, from the Nation newspaper, from Alaria, from Alaroye, and other assorted magazines, at least nothing less than 10. And anytime, I would just tell him, Daddy, Ejo, F1, because you know, in this job, you have to do your PR. It's about PR, it's about logistics. When they come all the way from the different offices across, you are bringing them from town to Abule Roko. It's a border town between Songwater and Lagos. That is between Songwa and Ajegunle. So it's like the border town, you take them into the hinterland. So I tell them, take care of them, sir. Even the money, the little money he gives to them, you could see it in his content. You see, when you meet a man that is so shrewd with spending of money, you will know from his countenance. You will know from the way he gesticulates. He's not a free spender. He's not a free spender. The only thing he has is that he's a prophet. And we are coming to the issue of either being a genuine or a fake prophet. Now, in those days, I would tell him, Daddy, I feel in 5,000, I feel in 5,000, I feel in 5,000, I feel in 5,000. Then after all done, after they've spoken to him, we put the midget in his mouth, we see everything. Then I will still use my car to go and drop them at the toll gate. My Isuzu Jeep, I will use it to take them there, to go and drop them at toll gate, because that is what I do. And I remember on a particular year, either 2012 or 2013, I brought the journalists as usual. And my friend, my very good friend, Sam Anokam, is now working at the Nation. He used to work at the Sun newspaper in those days. After the whole thing, Sam was asking me that, Bengudu, you know, the man don't give you anything, you don't collect anything. And I told Sam that day, I said, my friend, it is dangerous to take money from a prophet. That was my reply. I said, everything, I'm doing it on the goodwill and on account of my relationship with God. And to God who made me, may God bless Sam Anokam anywhere he is right now. May God bless him, bless his family. May God bless him in everything he's doing. He deep hand inside his envelope and removed 1,000 and gave me. I said, no. You, when you carry your car, they carry yours, come out, carry yours, go, carry yours, come back, go, come. And with gratitude, I took that and I thank him. Because that is what he felt that I should take. But every other people didn't even know what I was going through. This man will never want to give you anything. If I he will raise objections like, oh, can we give them this? Can we give them that? Can we pray for them? I said, yes, Daddy, pray for them. Okay, can we give them soap? Yes, you can give them soap. Open door soap, breakthrough soap, nothing bad. But they need something for their foil. They've left their editorials. I have been a member of different editorial, sitting at editorial meetings. I know how it is. I know how it feels to leave, to go out. I know what it takes to be a journalist in Nigeria. Most of these people are not paid 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, and they need to churn out stories. They need to bring story ideas. They need to bring their storyline. You know, so that was how we were packaging Prophet Tibetan in those days. Before I started my blog in year 2014, that is asabiafrica.com, and I am Asabiafrica because in another recent video, the Prophet made another very huge lie that is the Africa, that is the one that created Asabiafrica, that everything started there, that I started my sabbatical in his church there. That is a very huge lie. I have always been like this since I was young. In fact, Prophet Tibetan nearly went as to the extent of even telling people that he's the one that put me in my mother's womb and maybe brought me out to be who I am. No, you can never do that. That is a lie. That people went around you or took a path across you when they were growing and they became successful does not mean that you are going to take the role of God or you are going to, acclaim the grace of God in their life and start telling the world that, oh, I'm the one that made him, I'm the one that did that, I'm the one that did it. You don't even know the story of Asabe Africa. You don't even know what Asabe Africa stands for. You don't even know me. Before I met you, I've done great exploits.
So Asabe, as he's getting breakthrough, Asabe is getting breakthrough, he's bringing people for prayer.
He's introducing people
to the church.
Oh, that's good.
So as he's bringing people now, then at times, then when we wanted to do harvest, we grant interview, we do everything. So, and the very video he was doing today called Asabe TV started from here. Thank God for God, it started from here. Black African TV has been doing the video coverage when they were still putting all those gigantic Belford machine on their shoulder. He was in charge.
So, in one of the videos again, he said that you are the actor. After he said that you fired me, that you sent me away, you said you are the actor, and if the actor is still on, the movie is still on. Yes, any in the actor, the actor bashi free me, I want will free me though.
And you're not money. Because he ain't just looking for his way. But if the actor of a film has not died, can the film stop? But one day, Sheko will land. Asabe too will land.
But the only thing, the good thing about life is that for there to be a good actor, there must be a good producer. There is no actor that is going to shine and outlive his time on the acting scene without a good producer. Bani good actor, they need good producer. Bani good producer, I mean, they need good actor. The actor season is dependent on the activity, the good creative curve of the producer. It is the producer that can guide the actor. The producer is the unseen hand behind the scene, and the actor is the visible product of the producer. So you need a good producer to have a good actor. You need a current producer. You need a producer with the verve, with the dynamics, with natural idiosyncrasies, with the temerity, to produce a very good actor. The moment there is no good producer, the actor starts to fall apart, and the actor becomes a nuisance on the scene, and that is what is almost going on now. Because you look at people around you, you look at what is going on, you look at the unguided production and the unguided rates at which a lot of things are happening around you. Yoruba will say that so when we were with you, we did it from the perspective of story idea. We did it from the perspective of review, that is revision. We make sure that everything that you churn out have a good color, it has a good vibration, it has a good measure, it has a good outlook, and in most cases it brings out a prospect that people can relate with, and people can come to you and say, this man knows what he's doing. But now they just put you on the spot and you just start talking and 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 talking, and at times you talk out of proportion, you talk out of points. May God forgive those people around you, because they are not trained, they've not sat in editorial meetings, they don't know the measurement of what is called story idea, they don't know the culture of what to say and what not to say and how to say it. Well, that is the kind of person we discovered. We discovered a raw talent, and we were able to help to build the talent into a natural and a national standard. You see where we met you, you saw the video of how we started with you and all that. So today, if you now say, oh, if the actor is still there, the movie is still on, well, it depends on what kind of movie the actor is churning out, and it depends on the kind of producers that are behind the scene. So with time, a lot of people might decide to lose interest, and people will just start saying, what is this man saying? He's always saying everything that needs not to be said, or everything that he finds. Today you discover, they say you discover about chin chin, tomorrow you discover about pop puff, next tomorrow you discover about granite, then another time you discover about about donuts and all that. So, but what are the points? What are the issues that you need to discuss about, or you need to relate with in the society? Principled issues that has to do with cleaning of the moral pipe, conducting a moral cleansing of people. We need a society whereby you need to say some truths that is going to clean the moral conduit pipe, and we can have a healthy behavior, a healthy moral endeavor for everybody. Then the second one you also talk about, he spoke about, and I told God at the beginning of this backlash, when he started coming out to talk about me, to sponsor people to lie against me, and to say things that I never believed could be said. He said something like, oh, Asabe is the horse that you, Prophet Marcus, rode to the palace, that then when you rode the horse to the palace, you now tied down the horse, and one day the horse lose itself, and the horse now went into the market, and the horse started running into things, into okra, into alabosa, tomato, and the horse was going everywhere, and people started stoning and beating and hitting the horse. The horse now went back to the palace, and the horse now said, oh, I'm sorry, I never knew that I'm not the famous person. You, Marcus, you are the famous.
What they are looking for is more than land.
No, I know.
So they are looking for, because Asabe is not more relevant again. What really happened is that Asabe was a horse that I ride to the palace. Asabe was the horse that me ride to the palace.
Okay.
But one day in the palace, when I was in the palace, Asabe now lose himself. He lose himself from the rope and ran into the market, and it was badly beating. They beat him, they did everything because he didn't know how to walk in the public. He was putting his leg inside the oil, inside the okra, inside everything, and the people were pissed off. So when he came back to when he found his way back home, then Marcus now asked the horse, why did you get wounded? What happened to you? He said, I went to the market. I went there to go and try my popularity. And when I got to the place, I now knew that I'm not the one that popular. It was Marcus that was popular.
Then I think when you said that, when people started to tell you the interpretation of what you said, because what they be paying on car ni, nígbà tí bá sọ yìí pé èmi ni ẹṣin tẹ́ lò láti wọnú àgbàlá ọba, pé èmi Gbénga, èmi Dana Asabe ni ẹṣin tẹ́ lò láti wọnú àgbàlá ọba, bí ìgbà tí ẹ wá dé àgbàlá tẹ́ dé ibẹ̀ tán, ẹ wá di ẹṣin mọ́lẹ̀, ẹ ń kà ni, Ọlọ́run á wò yín sàn. Mo mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn nǹkan mi tẹ́ ń sọ lẹ́yìn mẹ́ta ibi kí wọ́n máa kà. Olúwa fúnra rẹ̀ ló ti ọwọ́ bọ ọpọlọ yín. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what happened. Bí prophecy yẹn ṣe wá, nǹkan tẹ́ ń ṣe sínsínsínsín, bí wọ́n ṣe fi prophecy yẹn lélẹ̀, bí mo ṣe gbọ́ prophecy yẹn ní ìta àti nínú ìjọ yín ní ibẹ̀ yẹn, bí wọ́n ṣe sọ pé ìgbà báyìí máa wá, nǹkan báyìí máa ṣẹlẹ̀, nǹkan yẹn ló dẹ̀ ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí. Nígbà tẹ́ bá sọ pé èmi ni ẹṣin tẹ́ dì mọ́lẹ̀ tẹ́ fi dé ibi tẹ́ dé, ó túmọ̀ sí nǹkan, ó nídìí. Nǹkan tẹ́ dẹ̀ fi ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ẹ ṣì ń ṣe àwọn ètò àdúrà, ẹ dẹ̀ ń gba àwọn àdúrà òdì wípé kí ẹṣin padà wá sí àgbàlá ọba, kọ́ba lè tún dì mọ́lẹ̀, kọ́ba lè tún máa mú láti máa fi rìn káàkiri. So kò sí nǹkan tó yàtọ̀ láàrin ní tí mo sọ the actor, the bad actor and the bad producer, the good actor and the good producer. Yes, ẹni mi ni ẹṣin tẹ ẹdì mọ́lẹ̀ so bí ìgbà tí wọ́n kà ìgbà tí wọ́n rí pé kíní yẹn tún yíwọ́ pé ó dá ìgbà tí wọ́n kà nígbà tí a dá yín lò tí tìmí lẹ́yìn which I'm going to talk about later tó dá yín lò ẹ tún wá yí padà ẹni ọba àti ẹṣin jáde nù àgbàlá ọba ó lọ sájà ó rìn jàkàjàkàjàkà láàrin ọjà àwọn ará ọjà wọ́n sọkúta sí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kó ní kùmọ̀ kó ní kóńdó ó wá padà wá ó wá sọ pé òun ò mọ̀ bí òun kọ́ ọba ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá gùn ó wá bọ́ sáàrin ọjà àwọn èèyàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kí ọba bó ṣe rí kọ́ lẹ ṣe sọ bí Olúwa ṣe kọ́kọ́ nìyẹn.
So because he didn't have brain, whom did he learn from? We know about Delegiwa, we know about Patutomi, we know about Abati, we know about all these great boys who did the job and they excel in it. But who is Asabi? A blogger. You started blogging here. After leaving Cheheka, he started all these things. Then when he now saw the name, he was thinking he's the one popular. He never knew I'm the one. Yeah, he cannot go far because when a horse is an animal, Kabiesi is a human being. But he gave us authority and audacity over animals. In Genesis 2, Genesis 3, he gave us a lord over them. Then there was one afternoon, the Kabiesi was warming up to go for a meeting. But before he came, the horse has already untied himself by force and he walked into the market. So he was putting his hand inside the oil, inside the honey everywhere. So people was annoyed. Then they would start beating twin stone, pebble, and everything on the horse. So later the horse came home with bruises and everything on his face. Then when the king saw he said, where is this horse coming from? They said he went to the market by himself. I've already wounded and do everything. I said, no problem. Then, the horse now said, I want to go and test my popularity. That's what made me to go by myself. He said, no, you are not the one that popular. Okay, let me dress up and let us go through where you went to. So they went through the market, Ondo market, Odochida, as they were just going. Everywhere, He said, now I know that I'm an animal. And when you look at the book of Isaiah 40, you go and check it. Then when you look at it, he said, gbogbo ẹran ara ni koríko ń rọ ìtọ̀nà ń tàn ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run ló mí ìmú àwa èèyàn alágbára.
Èmi ò sì ń ṣe ẹṣin tó ń dè mọ́lẹ̀ bọ̀ tó wáyé pé ẹ̀tẹ̀ ti dè mí mọ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ Olúwa ti tú mi sílẹ̀ àwọn tá a tún dè mọ́lẹ̀ lÓlúwa tún máa tú sílẹ̀ láìpẹ́ lágbára àṣẹ Èdùmàrè tó wáyé bẹ́ẹ̀ dè ìmọ̀ wa mọ́lẹ̀ tẹ́ lò wá fún ọdún bí mẹ́wàá tá a fi wà lọ́dọ̀ yín because ní àárín ọdún mẹ́wàá yẹn náà kò sí nǹkan kan tí ẹ fún wa láàrin ọdún mẹ́wàá yẹn kì í ṣe pé ẹ sọ pé gba ilé ọ̀ gba ilẹ̀ ọ̀ gba mọ́tò even gan láàrin ọdún mẹ́wàá tá a fi wà pẹ̀lú yín ẹ sọ́rí ní December pé ẹ jẹ́ káwọn àṣàbí gbé àpò ráìsì ẹ̀kọ́ lọ pín kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí 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 àfi even gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ bá ní ká ṣe gan tó jọmọ́ nǹkan àdúrà a máa ṣe sanwó náà ni tá a bá rà nípa àárà létò lọ ra ilé wa mú nǹkan báyìí wá gba nǹkan báyìí lókè lọ mú nǹkan báyìí wá kò sí nǹkan tí a sanwó fún even ìgbà tí a gbé àwọn èèyàn kan wá tó súnmọ́ wa tá gbé wọn wá sọ́dọ̀ yín a sì tún mówó lẹ̀ bí ẹ ṣe ń gbà lọ́wọ́ tibí lẹ́ ń gbà lọ́wọ́ tèmi náà àwọn nǹkan kan wà tá a ṣe tó yẹ pé a wò we never got any value for free and because we are advertising you we are promoting you based on the truth that we felt you are saying from your mouth. That truth is what I saw and we decided to give you all the support. But we didn't even see your akagom, culture, or we didn't even look at that one. We were like, okay, because in life, I do things for people. If you thank me, I count it as a honorarium. If you say thank you, if you give me anything, even if you come tomorrow and give me a house, I will thank you. It's honorarium. but I will not keep it. I will appreciate it in a very glaring situation. So, but it was after tọ́lọ́run lo Prophet Adébáyọ̀ Ṣẹ́gun Adébáyọ̀ láti fún yín ní query tí Ọlọ́run lo máa yẹn from nowhere tó gbé mọ́tò fún wa ìdẹ̀ṣe kó gbé mọ́tò yẹn fún wa láti fi ṣèkà ó ṣe láti inú ọkàn because bóun ṣe máa ń ṣe nìyẹn. He's been doing that for years. He's a blind giver, he's a generous giver, he's a dangerous giver. So ìgbà tó ń gbé mọ́tò fún wa ní January 2022 ní March lẹ́yìn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń sọ wípé ilẹ̀ kan plọ́ọ̀tì kan afẹ́fẹ́ ilẹ̀ kan ní Lẹ́kì ìwọ àtìyàwó ẹ lọ kọ́lé ẹ lọ kó síbẹ̀. Mo dẹ̀ ń wò pé ṣé kò lè fún mi nílẹ̀ láláì ṣe pé mi àtìyàwó mi kọ́lé a lọ kó síbẹ̀. Ó ṣe jẹ́ pé ìwọ ṣe máa ń fihàn kan tó máa tún dèèyàn yẹn mọ́ nǹkan yẹn ìwọ ò lè ṣoore àṣetán kó ṣoore. Ok bí adé bí Prophet Tibetan ṣe fún mi mọ́tò kó di pé àṣàbí ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa wá sí church ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa jókòó ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe báyìí wọn ò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. He did it from the bottom of his heart. He did it freely. You know, then in your own case you also try to tell people most of the time as if you are doing so much. You make it look as if we are doing this, we are doing that. When you are doing nothing. In 2018, you will discover that someone very close to me, that you know through me, very close to me, had to leave you because why? You are complaining to him that my relationship with his sister, that me ò dá lóko òwò mi ò fún lówó kan bá sùn. You know, you use divide and rule, it won't destroy relationships. He said bó ṣe ń wá sọ́dọ̀ mi yẹn bó ṣe ń wá yẹn 100,000 ni mò ń fún 100,000 ni mò ń fún. And that thing, and when the guy found out that you are not giving me anything, that's why the guy left you, block your phone, decided to go away far because he was shocked that the old prophet can be lying. Mina, you know. And the guy also looked at it that when his own mom had a little challenge, when she came around, we were paying. He was dropping money, I was dropping money. We were dropping money, but we thank God for how God did it eventually. There is nothing that you give out that is not taxed. If it is not immediately, it is in the long run. We are not saying you are not gifted in certain areas, but you see, in 10 years, what we did for you, freely, we are not thinking any other person can do it now. You know, so in most cases, when you say, "Oh, you are the actor," and if the actor is still there, the film moves. You need a good actor. If you're a bad actor, the film will end in the mind of the people so soon. The actor will just be acting, and the people are gone looking at the new actor who has the new valve, the new flip, the new actor with a good producer. Then when you took off the horse, yes, we thank God. You said it with your mouth. Olúwa ló ti ọwọ́ bọ̀ yín kẹ́ lè sọ ti ọwọ́ bọ̀ yín. Olúwa fúnra wọn ti ọwọ́ bọ̀ yín lẹ́nu kẹ́ lè sọ kíní ẹ̀ síta. Ẹni tó bẹ dìwà mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀yà náà àti tú sílẹ̀ náà nìyẹn. Ẹṣin ti já náà nìyẹn. Ẹṣin dẹ̀ ti já. Ẹṣin ò dẹ̀ já padà sínú palace mọ́. Ẹṣin ti já. Ẹṣin ti já fún nǹkan rere. Ẹṣin náà so mọ́ palace tó dẹ̀ di pé wọ́n fi ń ṣe Olympics. Ǹjẹ́ nǹkan gidi kọ́ nìyẹn? Ẹṣin tó ń sunmọ́lẹ̀ palace tẹ́lẹ̀ tó ń lò káàkiri tó wá di ẹṣin táwọn òyìnbó fi ń ṣe Olympics. Ẹṣin yẹn ti lọ náà nìyẹn, ẹṣin yẹn ti lọ́lá nìyẹn, ẹṣin yẹn ti di global image, global symbol. Ìyẹn tó wà lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Another thing tẹ́ sọ tó bà mí lẹ́rù in a recent video tẹ́ ti dá tì mí lẹ́yìn, tẹ́ ti ń try láti cover issue tì mí lẹ́yìn and the land issue. Ẹni pé ìgbà tí èmi dọ̀dọ̀ yín wípé Black Africa was recording you, ìyẹn Benjamin Adekunle, evangelist Benjamin Adekunle tó wà lọ́dọ̀ yìí sí tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn, tó tún ṣiṣẹ́ blogger, tó tún ṣiṣẹ́ image laundry. Ẹni ó ti wà lọ́dọ̀ yín gbà yẹn pé ẹ̀yin lẹ́ni kó step down, ẹni kémi continue. You are not that kind of a person.
Black African TV has been doing the video coverage when they were still putting all those gigantic Belford machine on their shoulder. He was in charge. So he's the one interviewing me, doing the video of the church. But when he came, so I asked him to step down for Asabe. So Asabe continued from there. So we're not doing video again. We're not doing anything. So then Asabe continued.
Number one, when I met you in 2012, I never saw Benjamin Adekunle. I don't even know him. As at that time, Benjamin Adekunle was still in the movie scene. He was still trying to survive. He was doing a lot of movies. Most of his movies are not popular because I've never come across any of them, and I've never seen him in active practice. But he was one of those unknown actors in the Nigerian scene. I didn't meet him there.
Nígbà yẹn tí mo ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn tán, àwa fẹ́ ṣe pósítà. Mo wá ní kán gbé bàbá Wándé Gàdàgbà. Bàbá Wándé lórúkọ èmi ò tí ì lórúkọ owó lèmi wá. That was 2008. I said I'm looking for money. Owó ni mò ń wá. Ẹnìkan wá ṣe mi létí ó ní ṣe mo rántí ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi nígbà tí mo ṣe ọ̀dájú ọkùnrin. Ó ní I played the lead role in ọ̀dájú ọkùnrin. Ó ní bàbá àsùwé tó ṣe sí méjì ni mo gbé Gàdàgbà tó wọ aṣọ wòlíì tó gbé Kùránì lọ́wọ́ tó tún gbá fọ̀ṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́. Ó ní ṣé mo wọn tí àwọn censor board fojú mi hàn nígbà yẹn, which is true. Wọn ò fẹ́ approve fíìmù yẹn ní censor board níjọ́ yẹn, but thank God wípé pẹ̀lú ẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n padà approve pé kí n fi bàbá àsùwé Gàdàgbà sí. Fíìmù yẹn náà ta aṣọ ẹ̀ National Theatre. Ó jọ pàdé pẹ̀lú kékèké, ó dẹ Ọlọ́run ṣe ìyanu ìròyìn tó àfojú bá ṣá. If you still watch the film, you still the film is a good film. Kí ni fíìmù yìí dé ọjà fún? Èmi ni mo dọ́ọ̀bù CD fún ara mi, èmi mo dọ́ọ̀bù ẹ̀ fún ara mi. Mi ń gbéṣẹ́ fún market outright, commission business máa ń fún. Mo wá gbé lọ fún Wastayo nígbà yẹn lọ́hùn. Bí mo ṣe dọ́ọ̀bù the first 25,000 copies tí mo dọ́ọ̀bù lọ, wọ́n bá ní wọn ò tà ju 10,000 copies lọ ń bẹ̀. 10,000 copies. Kí ni wọ́n fi 15,000 sínú ilé? But after bíi 4-5 years, àwọn èèyàn tó pé sáfara gbé. Mo wá ní ẹ̀mọ̀ pé tíṣòro bá ti dé bẹ́ẹ̀ dàgbò ló kù, ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ní kó kù, ká súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run ni. Mo wá bẹ̀ sí lọ, mo bẹ̀ sí ṣiṣẹ́ mo bẹ̀ sí lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì. Wọ́n lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì kan, ọmọ kékeré kan ní program kan tí mo lọ, ọmọ kérúbù kékeré kan. Wòlíì ni ló bá pè mí. Wòlíì wá pè mí, ó wá sọ wípé Olúwa ló rán mi níṣẹ́ pé mi ò jíṣẹ́ òun. Mo lé mi, Olúwa rán mi níṣẹ́ o. Mo ní bó ló ti rán mi níṣẹ́ tí mi ní jíṣẹ́. Olúwa sọ pé òun pè mí, òun ti ń pè mí tipẹ́tipẹ́ pé mo ṣe tí kunkun sóhun, pé ìyà tí mò ń jẹ yìí pé òun lọ́wọ́ sí. Kí tí n bá ṣe fẹ́ tí òun á ṣe tèmi. Ìgbà tó tún wá yá, èmi àti Prophet Marcus àti ní àwọn èdè àìyedè kan tí mo ti sákò church wọn. Mo bá lọ síbẹ̀ níjọ́ kan. Mo ṣe lọ síbẹ̀, mo bá ní mo fẹ́ ṣọ́nà. Bàbá yẹn bá sọ fún mi tó ní ó ní lọ sílé ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì lọ kọ́rọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Nítorí pé Ọlọ́run lóun fẹ́ lò ọ́, pé àsìkò ti tó tóun fẹ́ lò ọ́, pé tó o bá sì ṣe iṣẹ́ òun kóun máa yẹ̀yẹ́ òun máa dójú tì ẹ́. Iṣẹ́ ìrere wa ń grow sí, wọ́n á ní òye sí nínú iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́. Ní kúkúrú ṣá, ó tó di pé Ọlọ́run wá fìdí mi múlẹ̀ sí Elisha Parish of CCC tó wà ní abúlé ìrókò, chọ́ọ̀chì Prophet Tibetan, Prophet Marcus. Wọ́n wá sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ kí n jẹ́ assistant shepherd àwọn, àbí kí n jẹ́ number 2 àwọn ṣá. Mo wá jẹ́ number 2 in their cathedral. It's somebody that travel all over the world. Ó ń lọ America, lọ sí everywhere, kò ń gbélé, so inú máa ń dilé mú. Mo jẹ́ bí olùṣọ́ àgùntàn ní ọ̀dọ̀ wọn, mo dẹ̀ ní an assistant too. And lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, mo kọ́ sọ pé mi ò ṣiṣẹ́ acting mọ́, mo ti fi ṣe acting lẹ̀, but notwithstanding, message tó ṣe sí wá yẹn pé Olúwa ní kí n padà sí iṣẹ́ yẹn. Olúwa sọ pé kí n padà sí iṣẹ́ yẹn, mo ní Ibo ń lọ ní kí n ṣètò ohun mo ti ṣètò yẹ kí ló tún fẹ́ padà lọ ṣe ní ti tíátà. Olúwa ní kí n padà, iṣẹ́ yẹn wá ń jẹ́ wọ́n sọ bí mo tún ṣe padà sí di tíátà nìyẹn, mo tún ti padà dé o. The return of the legend, the G.D.A is back in the movie industry and back with a full force. Ògo ìsẹ̀yìn sì máa ju tàtẹ̀yìnwá lọ pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn Ọlọ́run tó ní kí n padà ó ní ohun tó fẹ́ lò, purpose tó fẹ́ lò yẹn èmi àti ńlá jọ fojú rí. Thank you very much. God bless.
There was a guy I met there, and that guy, I know him as Goldmate. I know, let me tell you the truth, people. What Prophet Tibetan does is this: when he sees that you are doing something, and he thinks that the thing is going to be big, he will prop up other people. Then we tell them, ìwọ náà, ó yá máa ṣe. Ìwọ náà bó ṣe ń ṣe yẹn, ìṣòro Ìbáṣàbí náà ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn, ó ti ń gbé mi sí. Ó dẹ̀ ti ń lówó ń sìn, wọ́n ti ń fún lówó, wọ́n ti ń fún everything. so ìwọ náà tó bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí tó gbé mi sí nsìn ìwọ náà wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gba dollars wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí make owó ẹ̀. As at that time you raise almost 3 to 4 people up around me to be doing YouTube with the purpose, the sole purpose of divide and rule. You wanted them to produce you simultaneously so that Mr. A will be doing it, Mr. B will be doing it, Mr. C will be doing it, Mr. D will be doing it. Then at the end of the day, you are going to be the sole benefactor. You know, you have that vibe, divide and rule. Even as at that time, you made Ola, your former PA, to also start a YouTube channel. But after one video, the guy ran off. The guy ran away because the guy saw the challenges attached. When you have to buy data, you have to spend on data, you have to get a video man that you have to pay to capture the event for you. You have to pay an editor to edit the event. You have to pay for rendering and every other production stuff that you need to go through. It is a very rigorous process, but you must love that. You must love that rigor. So a lot of them. But this other guy that I met, it was not Benjamin Adekole. He had 2 channels, and you kept prompting him. But the guy didn't know that I was not collecting a dime from you. And at the end of this video, either in the part 1, either in this part 1 or the part 2 or part 3, we are going to give you the testimony of the guy. What the guy said about the value process between me and him. One day, you know, after many years, I just discovered the guy didn't come again. And this guy has done, you know, he has 2 channels. But we channel could see it over 500 subscribers. But the guy forgot that I'm a journalist, I'm a trained journalist. I have been working, I've been doing this job before I met Prophet Tibetan. I've been doing this job at least good 20 years or how many years? I've been doing it for years, for almost a decade and a half before I met Prophet Tibetan. And I'm very adept in what I do. I know, by God's grace, I know what I do. You know. So, but the guy was just a cameraman that Prophet Tibetan prompted into a competitive mood with Benga Sabe. Because everybody is like, oh yeah, we're not much, we're not about to. I met the guy somewhere. I was coming from an event someday like that, and we ran into each other in Yanopaja area of Lagos. And the guy said, South Africa, oh girl, you mo be king bolo baba. I said, what do you mean? He said, if you mo, yeah, she will book it she free len she. Baba do jẹ́ kí mo baba bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi yín bú mi. Tí bá ti fẹ́ gbowó mi, bàbá máa delay mi, kàn fún mi 20,000 check mi, kàn fún mi lówó mi, á dẹ̀ di pé kí n lọ kí n sùn ìjọ́ kejì. Tí bàbá tó ìgbà tó yẹ bàbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bú mi, àṣàbí òun gbowó, ìwọ náà nìkan ló ń gbowó, ìwọ nìkan owó, àṣàbí nìyẹn, kò ń gbà kọ́bọ̀, kò ń ṣe kíní kan. And I was like, yes, that is me. So the guy said, èmi ò lè, èmi ò mọ̀. And this is the guy that was with you, according to him, since 2007, I think. I met you in 2012. He has been with you since 2007, I think so. Yeah, 2005. Yes. He's been working and working as your cameraman. And that is the guy I met, not Benjamin. So you are not the author of Asabe Africa. I am Asabe Africa. People know me. I have been doing that since when I was in the editorial. Asabe Africa has been Asabe Africa. And the reason is that I have traveled to few African countries and I love the environment. I've been to Lomé, Togo, I've been to Accra, Ghana, I've been to Freetown, Sierra Leone. And there is more. By the special grace of God, we are still going to cover. I'm an African by nature, and I'm African by perspective. I am an African by orientation, and I am an African by futuristic postulations. You know, I love Africa. I studied history, and I know the history of my people. I know what I've read about Africa. I know what I should know about Africa now and in the coming years. So, Asabe Africa, you cannot take it out. You so much. You came like as if it was when we got to you that we even started journalism. You came as if it was as if when we got to you we started life. You came so hard as if it was as when we came to you that everything began. You didn't want us to take any grace out of your place. But we came with our grace and we unleash that grace on you, you are just a backstreet prophet looking for something to grab and something to eat. You are a backstreet prophet looking for survival. And we came at the right time. And at that time, you can imagine if I was not collecting money from you, then mo to dan komishe ní ìgbà yẹn tí mi ò kí ń béèrè owó. I remember in 2017 there was a day we were traveling out of the country, and myself and my wife, we drove to the church. We were so broke that day. We were so broke, there was no money, because that was the year you told me to stop going to see the people. It gave me like a vision that I should ignore Sheikh, I should stop doing anything with him, that don't get jealous. And the reason is because some of your stories we take there, they were not used. Now, that day my wife was telling me, oh, the yawo papa, and I told my wife, I said, magic yawo man you. Only the American go to preach. Only ní Nàìjíríà àwọn journalists tún tọrọ owó lọ́wọ́ olùṣọ́àgùtàn, ọ̀pọ̀ ní Nàìjíríà àwọn journalists yáwó lọ́wọ́ olùṣọ́àgùtàn, àbí tí wọ́n bá tí olùṣọ́àgùtàn wọn lè jẹun. I made sure that day, despite the pressure from my wife, I ran out. I said no, we let you go, and eventually I drove. Even the fuel in my car, it was a miracle that the fuel took us home. But I made sure, and it was that day I called a colleague, a friend, who is still generous till today. He said, I think, give me this to the end of the month. You know, I try not to take money from you because I know your temperament when it comes to money. I understand the dynamics of your temperament. You are somebody that if you give anything to anybody, it might become the topic for the next sermon.
You're from American States. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ bí wàá fẹ́ kílẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ nǹkan tó bàjẹ́ débi àtúnṣe tó lọ́ọ́ lóyìnbó àrídàmẹ́wàá àrítọ̀rẹ́ àánú bóyá tó ní nǹkan tẹ̀lé.
Àwọn bá mi ṣe ọmọ èyí bá yí ṣe.
Lọ́rọ̀ lélẹ̀ ìwádìí wo la wà kọjá lé. Olọ́mọ ọmọ sì kò gbé tiwa ọlọ́lé àwa ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ ó gbádùn tán ó lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà èwo wá tó yá sí bí àìkọ́ tó dàrú bí ó tún padà bọ̀. Ṣé wọ́n dá wa sí pé fún ìṣòro ni? Màmá fi wàhálà lẹ́jàre. Ṣé báyìí náà mojú Ọlọ́run jẹ́ gbà mí? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ti bá mi lé ní o fẹ́ fi ẹkún pàdé mi. Ọlọ́run ní ṣe tèmi lẹ́kún. Ẹnì kan wà láàrin wa tó ló ní ìdí àánú. Ẹnì kan pé ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì wa ìlú àánú ni. Owó tó wà ní yóò make sense. Ẹni náà dà. Má bọ̀ mí. Báwo lè ṣe dájú ọ̀sán? Báwo lè ṣe mọ̀ mí? Ìjọ mímọ́ tó wà lẹ́la ló máa ń sá. Òkèṣẹ́ mọ́ ọjọ́ ní ẹ̀yìn. Nílùú ọ̀wọ̀ kí ló kọ́ ìṣẹ́ àmì yìí? Ó ti fẹ́ yìí. Kọrin ìṣẹ́gun méjì. Ó ti fẹ́ ìkejì. Lẹ́yìn kẹta, ọjọ́ wo náà sọ ìjọba mọ́kàlẹ̀? You are terrestrial body, you are not celestial. Ó kàn wá àánú mi. Church wo la ní lọ lérí àyè ọjọ́ question mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ló fẹ́ àwọn aláàbí church àwọn aláàbí celestial nọ́mbà bí mi pé kíkan ní ṣẹ́gun 14 àti 21 ojú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ló ní ṣẹlẹ̀ tó bá ti lè tó bá late tó pé bójú ṣe yọ ẹlẹ́nu sí ẹnu yọ ẹlẹ́nu kò sí ráìsì ń gbé kalẹ̀ tó lè parí kò sí wọ́n ṣe lè sí ráìsì ó lókùúta wàá mọ̀. Hallelujah. So you can read or show of God. You come ahead. I'm going to do it. They will pay 20,000. Matthew says, "Let my own job out. Show it God. The one you want to do. The 20,000. If
you do anything to or for anybody, it might become the topic for the next sermon. So we try as much as possible to run away from those odious experiments of yours. We try to run away. We try to treat you as, just a man of God. I will rather give. And you know that we tried. At the time, there were a lot of other things I was doing that you know in your heart of hearts that God said I should be doing. And I was doing them religiously until when this aspect of London, all this aspect of you want to take me out of my place of honor, my place of glory. You want to take me out. You want to hijack me. You want to own me to yourself. You can't, because you don't own me. God owns me. Then you now start to lie that it's because of politics, because of the Tinubu. You know how many people I interviewed that talk about Tinubu, and we air them religiously. We air them, verbatim. Baba, Rufus Okikiola, Oshitelu, the primate church of the Lord, Aladura, Inugiri. Anytime I go to him, we talk positive about Tinubu. He is a Tinubu lover. And we broadcast it. We don't withhold his information. That we don't agree with someone does not mean that the other person that agree with him should not be heard. His opinion or our opinion should not be heard. My very good old friend, High Chief Abiola Ogutokun, the Jagopoti of the Source, and the Akwesionla of Osun land, and the Obanla of Iwo Kingdom. He has spoken about Tinubu in several occasions. I have been interviewed even before Tinubu thought of going into election to become president since 2019. At his first start home, Ogundokun has always campaigned and spoke about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he believed in him, and we heard it religiously, despite the fact that our opinion is that it's not the same on the particular person, And I interviewed him in his house in Festac, in his house in Iwo, and his house at Orita Bashoron Ibadan. And recently he came to Lagos, sometimes June this year, to talk about Tinubu in a 3-star hotel in Lagos. He came purposely to come and grant me an interview. He just came in the evening and left the next morning. He came by train, old man of 85 years old. And we relate it, that you talk about Tinubu, even when you spoke about Tinubu.
Then when you look at what Tinubu is saying, Tinubu is mentally derailed. Somebody who has been taking cocaine, who has been living on drug. Bóyá ó ṣe mú tán, bóyá ó ṣe mú gbó tán nígbà tó ń interview ẹ̀, ó mọ̀. Ó dẹ̀ ń gbọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀ káàkiri bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n á jẹ́ bí bàbá ẹ̀. Wọ́n bèrè lọ́wọ́ ní Lagaban, Sugarban, ṣé orúkọ gidi ni wọ́n yẹn?
He said it, I'm still in Jagaban.
Gidi ni wọ́n yẹn, wọ́n ti kó dán Labagan. Ta ló jẹ́rú ẹ̀ lé ẹ̀? Kó lọ máa àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ méjì wá kárí wọn náà. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti eléyìí kiri ọmọ ìyá àjẹ́.
People are pity.
See the man the ignorance or ignominy of the people around Tinubu.
What advice do you have for him now? Is it that he should resign from politics, or he should continue so he can become the president?
Because Lord of me, bro.
Okay, sir.
You see what really happened? I told you, Tinubu cannot be president. Tinubu cannot what? Cannot be president. Who is he coming to govern? The Akinolu he put in Lagos was from Ibadan. The both parents are from Ibadan. The Onim of Ife that he installed was the wrong one. Then the Oniru that he installed lately was the wrong one. The Yaloja that he installed was the wrong one. The Zonwolu that he installed was the wrong one. So we didn't have our own conscience. We didn't have brain.
No, sir.
How can somebody be telling you 2023 from 2020? Over panu one, over kwasino drum, over se wajeni. Kilo fe soto ba debe. School lo tu lo kilo mo. O buru, you want to buru go to be the president.
When you change it within 24 hours, between 6th and 9th of June 2022, when you saw that Tinubu won the primary, before he won the primary on the 6th of June, he said it's going to be Lawan and Tunde Bakare. Tunde Bakare is going to be the Biara, and Lawan is going to be the deputy. Then the next person that is favorable is going to be Amechi.
So when you look at what we have on ground now, we should be thinking about seeing the past of Tunde Bakare is still relevant. Then the Lawal. So the two of them can be president and vice president.
Okay, the Senate president, Lawal.
Yes. You know he's a Fulani man. Yes, so they will not do, if they give it to Bakare, they're going to give it to Bakare. They're going to give it to Bakare. They're going to give it to Bakare. But they should try, they're going to give him dagger to hold. If Bakare wanted to prove as if he's too brilliant with the law, so they put dagger on the ribs. So the thing is around the three of them. And the Minister for Transport and Amechi. Rotimi Amechi, and then the other.
Then when you saw that Tinubu won the next day, you called us again. Monday to Thursday, that was 9th of June, and you start saying Tinubu. Then the next thing, you just launch yourself into Tinubu. And Tinubu. You are eating, Tinubu. You are sleeping, Tinubu. You are in the toilet, Tinubu.
Then, nígbà tí Tinubu ti wà ní politics láti kékeré, títí wá di wákàtí yìí, táwọn Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ṣì wà ní school tó ń kọ́ wà lóòkan. Then àwọn Minister for Transport, Rotimi Amechi, tí gbogbo wọn convert sí body log láti fi tipátipá gbé Buhari lé wa lórí. Ó dẹ̀ ṣeé. But eléyìí sani kólúkúlù lọ́gbọ́n tó lè lò. Ó dẹ̀ lò ó dẹ̀ ti bọ́ sí. So what do you think we want to do again? So we congratulate Tinubu in 100-fold. Then with that your statement that some people said it too, Atiku, báwo ló ṣe pé fọmọ onílẹ̀ wé ọmọ tó ọmọ àtọ̀runrìn wá. Tinubu ọmọ onílẹ̀ ni son of the soil. Then Atiku is half of the soil. When we are in the hand of the dragon those days, those are the PDP.
Okay.
Who said they are going to rule Nigeria for 60 years? Akawo Lorini. But yeah, how can PDP rule Nigeria for 60 years? But this, my brother, called Tinubu. Scheme together. And the man who has been crying everywhere, who has failed 3 times, that is Buhari. Then he said, come. I have solution to your problem. The agreement they made in Bodyland, they made in the boardroom. Buhari has mind home. He has fulfilled his what? His ambition. He wants to rule Nigeria by force. You know, he went to jail before. They locked him up. He was coming from Saudi Arabia. He was locked up. Even when he lost his wife, in all the president to be president. But thank God, God is God. He used Tinubu to make his dream come to reality. Don't behave like somebody who did not have God. Yes, because a day is still coming when people will vote for you. But the more you blacklist or blackmail or do all these ones, it will follow you. Nemesis is there. When he said, when you had anybody that succeeded in things, or have a newborn baby, buy a house, we have to go there and rejoice with him. Take your Motina, take your Coke. If you want to lead people to Tinubu to get Motina, Tinubu is ready to celebrate. If you are not there, yeah, don't worry.
Okay, sir.
So they were out there.
Okay, sir.
And when you look at the margin, is anybody who, even the whole mark they made, the whole of them, shows that Tinubu knows this job. He knows this job. So automatically, if the Lord should give him the job to do, don't worry. Don't, because you said, the people are saying that the two contestants in PDP, but I told you before,
too extreme.
PDP is dead.
Yeah, you said this, sir.
PDP is what? Is dead.
Since 2 years, 3 years.
Exactly. So why are you now bringing PDP close to where APC is? Why?
Everything, Tinubu, because why? Because you are consistently inconsistent. May God forgive you, Prophet. It is a bad thing to be consistently inconsistent. You are the one that have said it before that Tinubu should not be and cannot be. And all of us agreed, everybody agreed that yes, you are saying the real truth. But suddenly now, look at it, you now became the PR manager. Recently at your Ikori, somebody came from Speaker Obasa's office. You started reporting me that I caught Tinubu bad bread. That you told me that I'm the bad bread.
Listen, sir. When we are going for the primary, I have a journalist, a young boy who is very, very young. We came here in the person of Benga and Sabi. So getting to me, they said, the primary. I said, yes. What do I expect from the primary? They said, if you give me the list of all the people going for the primary, I said, who do you expect will be the primary? Then when we started the interview, he called the president bad bread. Then I jumped on him. I said, 2015, the Lord said, after Buhari, the next president is Asiwaju Ahmed, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ọmọ olódò ìrìn àbíyẹ. Hallelujah. Bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n lè máa parí olóba wí, ó ní ìpínlẹ̀ lè wà lẹ́nu àwọn máa mú fò. Ó fẹ́ àdánù gbogbo àwọn ìlú náà ti bá bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ó ní Tinubu bá bẹ̀rẹ̀. Òbí náà ti wọlé lórí ti lórí íńtánẹ̀tì. Òbí máa wà lórí íńtánẹ̀tì for 40 years. Wọ́n máa rí ìlú náà. Ṣùgbọ́n ilé ìtọ́nà sọ yìí. Látọjọ́ yẹn, ó kọ̀ọ̀kan púpọ̀ tó ní íńtánẹ̀tì lórí Tinubu lórí ìrìn àti gbogbo ẹ̀. Ó tún pè mí ní 419 nítorí pé mi ò ṣe bí yìí. Nǹkan tọ́lọ̀ ń fi hàn mí. Tó lẹ́yìn bàbá ṣe tó wọ́n dé látàkúdá Tinubu wọlé. Mo tó bá pè lórí fóònù kò pé mọ́. Mo bá sọ fún pé pírẹ́sìdẹ̀ntì nílò wọlé yẹn o. Adẹ̀rí àwọn àbúrò mi náà tó lọ tó ń wá pọ̀ àwọn bákàrí ẹ̀wọ̀n pé ìyàwó ẹ̀ tó fún hallelujah.
I didn't got Tinubu bad bread. I was interviewing you after the election or before the election in June 2022, and I said an editorial in Punch said both parties, both APC and PDP, gave us bad bread. Article for PDP, Tinubu, APC. Yes. That was after the primaries, you know, and you now said it's mean because you don't know what you are talking about. You don't review yourself. So, please, it is very important that we know what we are talking about and you know where you're going. To be honest, we are more sincere, we are more truthful. And in this course, that is why I waited pathetically long enough to give you the room to express the ignorance of time. May God forgive you to express the ignorance of time. A long year, 10 years, look at me, look at what these people are doing for you now. Today now you want to talk on almost every platform. You want to talk on Ojutole, you want to talk on Alore, you want to talk on Black Africa Magic, you want to talk on 12 Star, you want to talk on Yoruba Space TV, you want to talk to everybody. That is not Ishe Wuli again. That is political analysis. You are now a political activist. You know, you are chopping down the castle of a prophet because a prophet rarely talk. They talk when it is most essential. They talk nígbà tí Olúwa bá fi ara hàn, tí Olúwa bá fi àṣírí hàn, wọ́n á sọ̀rọ̀. But wọ́n á di pé jẹ́ ká jókòó ká sọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu lọ́la, jẹ́ ká jókòó ká tó sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Yorùbá lọ́tùnla, jẹ́ ká jókòó ká tó sọ̀rọ̀ Sanwó-Olú ní ọjọ́ mẹ́rin sí, jẹ́ ká jókòó lọ́la ká tó sọ̀rọ̀ Akeredolu, you know, it becomes a very horrible and a dramatic turn of events. Then the actor is becoming a miscreant. The actor never become a miscreant in the long run. You know, a lot of actors in Nigeria, they become a miscreant today. Some of them are even following MC Oluomo, you know, because there's nothing to offer again. They are just there, nothing, no good producer, no good storyline, no good process to activate their talent. So you need to be very, very careful. You need to retrace your step. Stop telling lies about people that are good to you. Stop making it always look as if you are the one that is doing good and they are the one doing bad to you. Just like your son said in an interview, two of your sons said it in an interview to me in 2020. 20, that you have the capacity to change every issue, every event, positive, negative. You have the capacity, even if it's negative on your side, you have the capacity to change it to favor you and to disfavor the other person. But since you started it with Bengalana Sabi, it has not worked. You started with Timilen, David, it didn't work. You started with Prophet Sheikh Madibayo, it didn't work. You can do it with any other ordinary person, but you can't do it with covenant children, people of covenant heritage. You can't do it with them. You can't do it with us. You know, that is life, and that is the prospect, and that is the grace of God upon our life.
Growing up with him, what are the sweet and sour moments like? Did you have any, and how will you describe those moments?
All I can say is Prophet is always right. You know, even if it's wrong, it's right.
How do you mean?
So say if you say the chair is brown, even though it's brown, and Prophet says black, just agree with him and say it's black.
That's a dad.
You know, you can never be wrong.
How will you define Prophet M.K. Tibetan as a son?
I'd say troubleshooting. You know, if any type of trouble, anything interferes with my dad, there's always a way for him to get out of that situation and make it better for himself, even though it's not a good situation. So troubleshooting is the best way. If people know what that means, that's the best way I can describe my dad. Very troubleshooting man. Anything comes near him or that he wants to do harm to him, we reverse and come better in his own.
Yeah. His advantage.
To his own advantage, yeah.
And let me also clear this. The first person we started interviewing as Abiabuka was Chief Augustine Bola Adegunloye, Egbeji Ologun of Africa. He was an herbalist. He was a great man. But I must confess to you, that man is honest than 100 bishops in Nigeria. And I'm saying this for the first time on air. May God bless the soul of Baba Egbeji Ologun of Africa. And you know why? I knew him in City People. When I was freelancing with City People, I knew him in City People. And I'm going to let you see some things now on Asabi Africa, so that we can bust that huge lie of Prophet Marcus. You know, we need to bust that huge lie of Prophet Marcus, because you see, there are a lot of things that have been said. You see, when you are a narcissist enthusiast, when you go and find out about the attributes of narcissists, you will see what I'm talking about. You will see why it is not good to have the tendencies of a narcissist. You know, not everybody can handle rejection, I understand, but a lot of things have been said, and I will give you the synopsis. I will show you now. This is Asabi Africa. These are videos when we started, you know. I want to let you see some things here. Okay, let's look at the oldest videos. On Asabi Africa, see, these are 7 years ago. These are our first video. You can see this is Asabi Africa. We are looking at our oldest video. This is a video, the first one. The first video is with Miss Sammy Peters. That's the wife of Sir Shino Peters. She's my very good auntie. That was our first video many years ago. That's 7 years ago now. I think we did the video sometime we started in February. That video was shot sometime in February. Then we did another one in February, I think so. Look at it. This is another video, our second video, February 29. February 29. Then we did another one. Our third video is March 9. March 9 with Shino Peter's wife again. You know. Then the fourth video is sometimes in I think March 11 with Mrs. Peters, Auntie Sammy. And the Sammy is my very good auntie. I've known her a long time ago. So she was encouraging me. She was one giving me an interview. She had cancer challenge those days. So she wanted to use these videos to uplift me. And she gave me the interview. She didn't give any other person. She was giving my channel the interview. Giving my channel the interview. That's Andy Sammy. Then I think this is another one. Okay, this is with Baba Egbeji. This is the video with Baba Egbeji then. Baba Egbeji, March 2016. You see, Baba Egbeji in those days. Now, this is another video, not Marcus Tibetan, it's Baba Egbeji. Now, this is another video. This is my friend, Temi Amodu. He's an event planner in Lagos. Used to be in Surulere, one of the finest event planner. Temi Amodu in those days. This is April 15, 2016. April 15, 2016. April 15, 2016. With my friend Temi Amodu. This is an interview we did in those days. So you can see the chronicle of interviews. You will see when it gets to Tibetan, because he said as South Africa started in his church. So you see how we started. We had our own ideas. Now Temi Amodu gave a prophecy. Temi Amodu gave a prophecy. Okay, this in Port Harcourt. We went to Port Harcourt to cover a wedding. And we had MC Aproko. MC Aproko, who has become a household name. We were one of the first channels that discovered him. That was April. This is April 28, 2016. We captured him in somewhere in Port Harcourt, near the government house, where there was a wedding. That is Pastor Luke Opuruka. No, it was a birthday, sorry. Pastor Luke Opuruka's 70th birthday. His children bought him a Jeep, a very expensive car. You see? Now, we are chronicling, we are telling you how we started. Okay, this is Pastor Luke Opuruka himself. May 19, 2016. May 19, 2016. In Port Harcourt, Pastor Luke Opuruka, 70th birthday. Those are the first stories on South Africa, first stories. So if we started in Tibetan's church, won't he be the one on the channel? Wouldn't he be the number one? But you see, when a narcissist is trying to protect his integrity, he falls into the gutter of his demonium and begins to lie. Now, a lot. This is still Pastor Luke Opuruka, the full birthday. This is the full 70th birthday of Pastor Luke Opuruka. He's a redeemed pastor in Port Harcourt. You know, this is June 3, 2016. This is the Pastor Luke Opuruka with his wife and his children. They bought him a Ford Explorer Jeep for his birthday. It was a big story, and we had access to that story. We were the only one that broke it, and I think I gave some to city people. Those city people didn't publish it, and it's one of those things that got me so irritated. That's Pastor Luke Opuruka and his wife. Now, I'm giving you chronicle. This is another one. This is Baba Egbeji. Baba Egbeji. Egbeji Ologun. This is 2016, June 18. You know, this Egbeji, June 18. Egbeji Ologun, June 18. We have just started discovering Tibetan now, bringing him on board. In fact, at the time, we were even using just one camera for him. So we just want to let you know that we hold power to our editorial. We started as I'm the owner. We started it. No prophet, nobody. Maybe it was in the dream. Now, let me now go here. This is Baba Egbeji again. Egbeji Ologun. This is June 24, 2016. You see how many times we started with Sammy Peters, we did with Temi Amodu, we did with Pastor Luke Okuruka. Then Baba Igbeji has consistently came on our channel. You will now see when we started with Tibetan. Now we are giving you a chronicle. We are going to also plant it. You see it. This is Igbeji Ologun. The seer. Now, this is still Igbeji Ologun. This is, let me look at the date again. This is July 2nd, 2016. July 2nd, 2016. I think you have counted more than 6 encounters with Baba Igbeji now before we come to Tibetan. This is July 2nd, 2016. Still Igbeji Ologun. He was the first seer that parted, that said on the channel. Now, look at it again. Look at this miracle. This is Sashuna Peter's son. This is Baba Di Baba. Clinton Peters. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 19th interview. And our 20th interview is still Sashuna Peters. Sashuna Peter's son. Now, this is our 21st interview. 21st interview. It's still with Baba Di Baba. July 22, 2016. With Sashuna Peter's son. Sashuna Peter's son. You see? With this 21 interview on South Africa, first 21, Tibetan was not there. So you imagine somebody that will not come today and tell you that he was the one that made you, that the South Africa started inside the church there. Look at it, Baba Di Baba, Clinton Peters. Now look at when Tibetan came in. This is the first interview with Tibetan. That is 22nd interview on South Africa. And we are talking about July 28th, 2016. We started since February 2016. Every other person came but Tibetan. You know, we were evolving at that time. Now, look at where we met him. Look at how we met him then. Look at how we met him. Look at in the bush we used to interview him in those days. You can see now, why did I need to do all this? I need to do all this to explain, in fact, to explain, look at it, look at how we met him. Look how we met him. This is the second interview, July 31. Second interview. That is 22, 23 interview, 22nd and 23rd. Now, what I'm trying to say here is this. You see, tí a bá ń pa irọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ro bí irọ́ yẹn bó ṣe máa rora ẹ̀. Tá a bá ń pa irọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ro nǹkan tí irọ́ máa rò ọ̀ tí irọ́ máa rọ. Torí irọ́ ò kì í ṣe nǹkan gidi, irọ́ máa ń rọ́yàn ni. Irọ́ ó máa ń rọ́yàn, á rọ́yàn lápá, á rọ́yàn lẹ́sẹ̀, á rọ́yàn sọnù kúrò ní ibi òtítọ́ nìkan ni òtítọ́. That Baba Igbeji you saw there, when I was interviewing him before his demise, in year 2021, that Baba Igbeji passed away after the corona. He died in 2021. Before Baba Igbeji's demise, Baba Igbeji was giving me production fee. Every encounter, he made sure he gave me a production fee of 30,000, and depending on how happy he is, at times he might inflate it to 40,000. That is on that side. He gave me every production. It was only Prophet Tibetan I don't collect money from. I don't, because I saw him as, first and foremost, a celestial prophet. I took him for a man of God. I took him for yes, Igbeji was a truth sayer. Tibetan too, a truth sayer. I even so much believe in Tibetan because he's a celestial. I so much gave him that regard. We are not collecting a dime from him. Now, Igbeji was paying off for every production. And during Christmas or New Year, Igbeji will make sure he send either, I'm telling you this for the first time, he will send me either 40,000 or the list of all 25,000. And he will tell me, Joe, Joba mi fure di ye o. Ada fun e, ada fa ya, ada fun mo e o. Igba mo ti nje mo mu o. Baba Igbeji will wake up some morning and call me and start praying for me. Ada fun e o, ada fa ya, ada fun mo e kan gbogbo ni se o, ko ni se omo, ko ni saye o. Igba mo pade e mo nje mo mu o, mo nje mo mu o. And why was the Baba doing that to me? Many years ago, he used to advertise on NTA2, Channel 5. He told me how he was spending so huge amount of money and there was no patronage. He was losing so much, even to the extent that some journalists duped him. So when I came into the picture, we were doing a lot and there was results. People came in. At times, people will call my number and they will asking me, Ejo, Afewari ṣe nínú àwọn méjì, Baba Igbeji àti Prophet Tibetan yẹn tara lè rí. Afẹ́ kan solve problem one. And I would like, okay, who do you think your faith is associated with? The person you trust. Go and meet the person. I cannot tell you who to. I will ask them, are you a Christian or a traditional person? If you're a Christian, well, maybe you should try Tibetan. Tibetan is a good prophet too. Then if you're a traditional person, yeah, go to Baba Igbeji now. And Baba Igbeji was good in what he did. And like 2 or 3 times, I will just mention to him, Baba, ewo, so busy me, and all that. And the man will just send money to me. Like 3 times he sent me 100,000 and he will just say, he will not even tell me, he will just say, and by the time I look at my account, I say, Baba, kilo day, I will say, am I worry. And to God who made me, to God be the glory. By the time Baba died, Baba was, God bless him, he built a very good new house inside his compound in Ejigbo. And he built a new house in Ondo, where he was buried, a new apartment. In fact, that street, I think Adeguli Road, somewhere in Ondo town there. His children were so happy, his family was so happy, because we only go, we sell the truth they say. But in Tibetan's case, Tibetan never ever gave anything in terms of money. He's so shrewd with money, and we took him for who he is. We didn't put him under any pressure. But do you know the irony of it all? This man, Tibetan, was always fighting me for interviewing Igbeji. I never knew what happened. He would tell me, àwọn èèyàn bínú sí ẹ gan, wọ́n ló ń gbé mi pẹ̀lú ológun, kí ló tún wá lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀? Ó ti ń bá mi sọ̀rọ̀, èmi làwọn èèyàn fẹ́ gbọ́. Èmi nìkan ti tó fún ẹ láti sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀, nǹkan tó fẹ́ rí gbogbo tó fẹ́ gbọ́, màá fún ẹ ní time, màá fún ẹ ní date, màá fún ẹ ní everything.
Even that was the time I was telling him, don't interview with me with the herbalist. Only o Baba Igbeji is the man. O kò máa pa máa yí ò ní ìkànnì tó ń sọ òtálì òjòkókò òun lé ní. Ẹnu bá dọ̀dà tó máa ní Igbeji ṣe ó ṣoògùn fún ẹ. Àbọ̀ ló ń ṣe tó fi popular. Kí ló máa sọ? Bó ṣe máa kọjá sọ̀dọ̀ ṣe ń sìn. Àwọn prophet kan tó ń lo nǹkan. Á ní kí ni ìyá yìí lò? Kí ni bàbá ti lò? Ìyá àmàlà àti Igbeji. Tẹni tó jẹ́ Abula àti Fili. Kí làwọn méjèèjì jẹ?
And I used to wonder why. Igbeji is older than him. Igbeji is married to one wife. The man is sincere. The man is truthful. The man is a seer too. In fact, the man even sees better than our brother here. The man sees better because he will tell you If he's not going to tell you exclusively, tell you in principle, tell you technicalities, he tells you how it's going to go, what is going to happen. We've seen several situations whereby Prophet Tibetan made predictions and it didn't come to pass, and Egbeji made and it came to pass. And I will show you instances before we finish this video. Now, let me tell you, let me bust you. You know, we started managing Prophet Tibetan. It was a bit cantankerous, but the first law, I told myself, the first law was never to take money from him. We started by blogging at sabiafrica.com. That was 2014. We started, and before we start, myself and my technical partner, we had a meeting with my very good sister again, Mrs. Safia Demola Seruki, because she's the first woman who did the Bureau of Public Enterprise blog. She was one of the iconic women under Obasanjo's era. She started a blogging thing at the Bureau of Public Enterprise. So we took her for a role model. We had several meetings with her on Allen Avenue in her mother's place, and somewhere where she lived in Lagos in her own private residence. We had meetings. Sometimes we go to a hotel to just chill, and she will tell us, you can do it this way, you can do it this way, you can do it this way. South Africa is something that is very close to me. I've always been who I am by God's grace. And why would Prophet Tibetan come out and tell the world that he made me? God, the only one that can make us. At the age of a tender age, I was working in Sona Brewery. Let me take you back to history. I posted recently on my Facebook, and a lot of people were like, wow. At a very tender age, I had my first account. In fact, at the age of 18, 19, I was working in Sona Brewery, the defunct Sona Brewery in Ota. I was working under Ayedu shift in the bottling department, and my foreman's name was Mr. Oyema. I will never forget. I was there for like 2 years, and as at that time, as at that age, I had an account with Afribank, which is now also defunct. I think it became Main Street Bank. I don't know if they're still functioning. You know, I started my life so early. I was a factory boy, I was a brewery boy, I was a bottling boy. In those days, we go to the factory and we'll be shouting, Consoli, Jago. Because I felt like Jago in brewery. Then 2 years to that time, I left the brewery. I joined a drama group, and in 6 months, 7 months, I was messed up. The story is with some of the top journalists in this country, some of them in London, some of them in Nigeria. If you ask them, Mr. G.D.A is aware, Babs Adigbenjo in London is aware, and even Mr. Niyakisiju, may God bless him wherever he is aware. I was messed up, and I hands up, I left acting, I went into broadcasting. I was on Minaj, on Teen Issue, and we were there for a couple of months. I was one of the resource person in the studio, and after some time our producer went abroad to study, and we left and we came to MITV and started things on tour by God's grace. Young people, group of young people. In those days we were not doing Yahoo. Some of us were just knowledgeable. We were just we scouted for intelligence, we scouted for knowledge. We started things on tour, and I think one of our producers, Alaja Ganiata Adebanjo from Alaja Ganiata Adebanjo, had Mrs. Kemi Kotu Adekusibe. Then after Mrs. Kemi Kotu Adekusibe, we had Mr. Damnola Kingbagbo. I was the first guy that brought Chief Dele Momodu to MITV studios. That was year 2000. Yes, I think year 2000. Yes, I brought Dele Momodu to the studio, and it was a very marvelous, very good day. I have the video, and you can still see the video. I was presenting on the news segment. I was anchoring the news segment on things on tube. Myself and another very good lady, Gloria Odiaka. I don't know where she is today. Maybe she's out of the country or she's married. A lot of us, we did wonders. We were young, but we were thinking. We were not playing. Time might not favor us so much like it is favoring a lot of people now, but we were just there. So before I went into journalism, I went so early. I started at Fame magazine, where I spent 2 years to 3 years. At Fame, we did a lot of stories. Hey, we did a lot of stories in Fame. You're going to see some of them. I was the guy who did the story, Benga Deboye's wife, when she passed away. I'm doing this video from my library so that Tibetan will understand who I am. And all the people, all you netizens, people that don't know me, you will understand who I am. You will not believe all those lies. Okay, this is Gbenga Adeboye's story. The wife, I met her, interviewed her 4 days after the death of her husband. This is my name, Gbenga Adeboye. It's one of my most interesting stories in Fame magazine in those days. Fame magazine. It's called Gbenga Adeboye's wife opens up. Things he told me in his last hour. Pick your pen, write the will, the names of my debtors, the children he left behind. We're going to show you a small mix about things we have done. You know, this is year 2003. These are things we have done in the past. This is another story I did. This is the story. Billionaire Dede Fernandez, 20-year-old marriage crumbles. Wife demands 6.3 billion alimony. Alleged lover boy revealed. This is a story I did the same year 2003. It's a very huge story that broke at the time. 2 pages. My name is here. Stories by Gbenga Adeboye. I mean, these are things we've been doing. This is year 2003. This is clear 20 years ago. When I was in Fame. I mean, these are stories. There are a lot of cover stories that we did. This is the story of Dede Fernandez, married, breaking in London, you know, in New York, sorry. We did a lot. I was the first guy to interview Paddy Adenuga. Adenuga's 22-year-old son in charge of Globacom, his vision, style, and inspirational story. We did it then. I interviewed him. This is my name, Gbenga Adeboye. Let's talk about Globacom, Paddy Adenuga. This is me, Gbenga Adeboye. These are stories we did. Interviewing him, he came on board at the age of 22. I met him at Sheraton Hotel, one of the big cantors in those days. You know, other stories we did here. All these fames we are saying here, they have my story one way or the other. I can show you a lot of. In this special edition, I interviewed Auntie Sammy Peters, the wife of Sir Shina Peters. I have co with Shina Peters. Yes, this is my name, Gbenga Adeboye. How I have co with Shina Peters. This is Auntie Sammy. It's a special edition of Fame that we did. You know, a lot of stories that we did. You will never believe. Many covers that we made. A lot of covers that we made. You know, we hit cover back to back, and there was nothing so big that we didn't do. If we decide to start opening for you, you'll be shocked. A lot of stories. I'm just interested in the covers. There are more and more that we did here, and a lot of people knew what we were doing then, and they gave us accolades. I think this is one again, Gbenga Lawyer. This is Gbenga Lawyer on politics and lifestyle when he just came back from the UK, and we met him at Excellence Hotel. This is Gbenga Lawyer. You know, my name is there. It's there. Gbenga Adeboye. The name is here. It came shorter. It's 2 pages story. I think I did another one inside the same magazine. There are a lot of stories we've done. I don't want to bore you. There are a lot of stories I've done, and that's why I'm doing this. Okay, this is real reason I divorced Yeni Kuti. This is former husband of Yeni Kuti, Femi Shegun, Uncle Femi Shegun. My name is there, Gbenga Adeboye. This is also 2 pages story. When I had a whole 4 pages in a week magazine, 4 pages. You know, there are a lot of other stories we did. This is with Jamiu Abiola's wife. We met Jamiu severally in his house, myself and my editor. Over Abiola's son, Jamiu opened up to Fame. This is myself and my editor in those days. This is 2 pages. This is Fame magazine in those years back. A lot of people that knew me in Fame. This is Abiba Oyarekwa, TV girl Abiba Oyarekwa of AIT Speaks. In those days, we did a lot of stories. There are more than 1,000 stories. And in those days, I was running 2 columns in Fame magazine. I was running arrival departure briefs. This is one of my columns, arrival departures about airport. Then I was also running a northern page from Lagos. It's called Northern Spices. Northern Spices. I was running those 2 pages, and I was running the northern page from Lagos. If you open these are old libraries. You can't find them anywhere. You can't find them anywhere. You know, you can't find them anywhere. This is how I became a pilot. This is my story, Captain Ajomo. Captain Ajomo today is the DG of NCAA in Nigeria, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. He was still a pilot in Ghana, Sabi. How I became a pilot, Albarka, Captain Chris Najomo. He was still working with Albarka in those days. There are a lot of other stories. Then I had Abiba Oyarikwa too, which made a cover. There are a lot of stories we've done. I'm just trying to let you have a piece of what we've done in the past. This is Abiba Oyarikwa. This is my name, being done as a TV point. Abiba Oyarikwa opens up a lot. She's working with a big agency in Edo State now. You know, Abibat Oyarikwa. In those days, you can see a lot of stories. A lot of stories. If you look at if I open up to you, in fact, this is small. Ovation. In our days in Ovation, we did a lot of story in Ovation. Here, I will show you some stories we did in Ovation and timeless story, contributing. Not to even talk about city people. Not to talk about city people. Not to talk about city people. I will bring some for you that you are going to see now. This is I think I did the longest interview. Sometimes they go in Ovation. Okay, this is the longest interview I did in Ovation. This is for the first time. Michael Infa and Dingba Igwe speaks about the exit from the sun. My name is there, Inadana Sabe. This story is 12 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is myself and Mr. Dingba and Mr. Mike Awoinfa, late Mr. Dingba of blessed memory, myself and late Mr. Dingba of blessed memory, myself and Mr. Mike Awoinfa, the veteran. You see, we did a lot. Even the one we did with Chief Ojus Okaru in Abuja Hope, Nelson Mandela Lodge, we did a lot. I mean, for somebody to come and tell you now that, oh, he made us, I mean, this one I did with D1 inside his house. This is at home with superstar broadcaster G.D.A by Benga Dana Sabi. You know, even though the editor would like to write the name very small because of his own, you know. So look at it. This is myself with G.D.A inside his wardrobe in his massive, somewhere in an estate in Lagos. This is myself with him at his library, showing me his 2 cars. You know, these are stories I did. This is how many pages? 7 pages. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 pages. You can imagine. If I'm not too good at what I do, you can see the story. This is it. At home. There I didn't several story. Even the one I did with Tokumbo Mudupe at his house in VGC. The PR. Okay, this is the one I did with Mudupe. You know, at his house, at home with Guru Tokumbo Mudupe. It's PR Guru. Stories, Benga Dana Sabi. You know, at his house in VGC. You know, how many pages? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is his house. His swimming pool. You know, we had breakfast together. See the story. This is myself with him, with his fleet of cars. You know, we did this for Ovation. These are stories inside Ovation. You're going to see a mix, not to talk of my time, you know, at different other places. We've done a lot. We cannot be opening all this for you. If we decide to open everything, you will be shocked and you'll be marveled. So, okay, these are stories. This is the days I was running Hallmark. I had a style page to myself. We interviewed, okay, this is face-to-face with Ghana's famous preacher Andy Yosin, speak on how to shine in a hostile environment. I met him in Ghana, the KICC pastor. Then at home with John Kufo. I met John Ayigun Kufo. This is 2010. Yeah, 2010. I have never met Prophet Tibetan. This time, all the stories I've been reading this morning, we've never met Prophet Tibetan then. I mean, and we're doing all this in our own little way. This is, you know, this is still Hallmark. If you take it out, I'm just showing you, all this I'm showing you, they are just 2%. They are just 2%. They are just 2%. They are just 2%. This is the story I've done. Why I went off social scene, drove Miseko, his darkest political experience, stories upon stories, you know, even the one on Arik Airlines in Kuruma, Sierra Leone, you know, a lot of stories in-house, you know, not to talk of the old hallmark. This is the old hallmark. We have done a lot of stories there. This is so much. Padded reports, report that we did. Some report you will not even believe that we did them. You know, this Hot FM is about news and fun. This is me, Gada Zabi. I spoke to Chris Anyanwu when she started her Hot FM in Abuja. We went to the Rock in Abuja. I went to interview her in our office in Abuja, Media Masters. We flew into Abuja. This is the year 2005. This is 2005. I mean, why I invaded Abuja. This is also me, a late friend Achibong. I had a column called Celebrity Gist. So you see where we started. Then somebody will now come. This is me. Why I now live at the bus stop, Bash Ali, the untold story of his 10 million war. I met him at the bus stop in Abuja. I think this year was 2009. I was in Abuja for 2 weeks. And this is Encounter with Abuja Power Ladies Wera Gambo. I met Bash Ali. I went to interview him at the bus stop. Bash Ali was angry with the government, and I was there. There are a lot of other stories we've done. I'm just trying to, I don't want to bore you. This is Zainab and Nafsa Yadua. How much do they worth now without their parents in Asoro? You know, we did the story on their lifestyle when their father late and the husband lost governor of Bauchi State. You know, a lot of stories we did. You know, in this business hallmark. This is the fall of Outdog. Okay, these are 2 stories I did in old hallmark. There will be no Nigeria after 2007. I will run for Senate in 2007 to stop bribery. Nasser El-Rufai, I met him in his house on Monday, January 3, 2005. Okay, this is my story. Prophet Olabayo, Bengadana Sabi. This is old hallmark. This is the year 2005, January. Then El-Rufai, I interviewed him in his house in a life camp. It was the whole day we had breakfast together with Nasser El-Rufai. Was still the FCT minister serving. This is my interview with him. How many pages? This is, you see, Bengadana Sabi. You can see it here. Bengadana Sabi. The interview was on Monday. On Monday, 3rd January 2005. These are how many pages? 3 pages? Is it 3 or 4 pages? 4 pages. I mean, and we started, the prophet now says he's one that started our career, he's one that made us who we are. You know, lot of stories. This is another one. Oh God, my friend Fred Achibong is gone. The story I did on Fred Achibong when he died in the year 2009. I don't know how to go, so I read this story without my wife's name. So I interviewed him. Listen to Jai. You know, Kojo Williams. I'll be doing Christmas with my kids in Lagos. Kojo Williams. This is story. This is 2009. This is just 2% of what we've done. We're just showing you this. This is why I couldn't build my dream hilltop mansion at 50 for Achibong. This is 2009. You know, Virgin Nigeria Great Service old name. You know, Ivo Yarikwa moves up to SPG. A lot of stories we've written years before we met Prophet Tibetan. Yet he came and said he's the one that did it. He's the one that brought us, as South Africa started on his channel, the BBC Star Transcend seen on live in Africa. We spoke to a BBC presenter who came to Africa. A lot of things we've done here, you know. In fact, there's so much. If I open everything for you, this is all Jews of Kalu. We interviewed him. A lot of things we've done, you know. Sadabaya, this celebrity achiever, I don't know. You know, a lot of stuff. If you open this, everything here is a bundle of whatever. We're going to do a miss. We show you what we've done. This is a library. Most of the papers, most of the magazines here, we've worked there from Fame to En Vogue, to Hallmark, to National Mirror, to Extra Newspaper, to City People, to Ovation, and a lot of others. If I open city people for you, if I open a lot of them here, you'll be shocked. What we have done, the stories we have done, how much, what do you want to put there? How much do you want to show them?
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Now, let's get back to Prophet Tibetan proper. I explained this to you because I don't want to waste your time. I just want you to know that people try to steal your achievements and they are claiming, they say they are the one that did it. I said I met Prophet Tibetan in 2012 and it was apparent that he needed help. We needed to upgrade, we needed to promote, we needed to celebrate. He was a backstreet prophet who needed so much hype for limelight. And I remember sometimes in 2015, something happened.